A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is modern escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles, and I'd like to thank my wife, my kids, and my mother for all the support they've given me, and they're the reason why I'm stood here today with this award. Thanking his wife's baking, Walker's Crisps, and Vince McMahon, it's Stig.
Don't throw Vince McMahon in there.
He'd like to thank his Candles, Activision, and John Carpenter's The Thing. It's Biggie.
I'll take that.
I bet you would. He'd like to thank capitalism, working from home, and his Wi-Fi connection. It's Gadget.
Oh, you love me. You all really love me.
And as a treat to you all, we have a very special guest. He'd like to thank the invention of podcasts, people having ears so they can listen to him podcast, and British Waterways. It's only bloody Planty. Oh!
Hey.
And the winner is Planty. But I had to think of that on the hoof because Gadget nicked mine.
No, did it?
Yeah.
Can't bring a mask quote.
Welcome back. Welcome back, mate. Welcome back. Thank you for jumping on. Again, just to let you all know, this is total transparency. We sacked Candy after last week. Basically,
Was it a right decision?
Yeah, patrons know there's been a Chipgate scandal, and we basically fired her out of a cannon towards the moon. She probably will come back, but God knows how long it's going to take.
She always comes crawling back.
There's a bloke down the chip shop hates candy. Is that's a song, right?
Currently working to resurrect Kirsty McCall just to make that song.
Before we get into the show, here's the rundown. We've got the Nexus, in which we discuss just what we've been up to this past week, with some tasty reviews in between. Then the main topic, which will be an Oscar-tastic knockout tournament. Then the exclusive green room locked behind the greatest of all paywalls. All of that to come after this, though, because it's time for Biggie's breaking news.
No, it's not.
He's getting the breaking news now.
Yeah, his daughter has other.
She's like, Dad.
I got the news is
cheese.
Daddy stinks of poo. Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, nice.
I always love it when Biggie's daughter interrupts things because you just see the door open and there's tiny little face moving on the side of it.
Hang on.
He's going to put his lock on. He's putting his lock on. Put your lock on, Biggie.
He put the security bungee on.
It would help if his doors weren't from a 1960s council house by the looks of it.
It's shut now, okay?
Oh, dear.
Because she didn't put the bungee on it.
How doors work, Biggie, is they can be opened from the other side.
Damn it.
To Noodle's basement. Yeah.
Ta-da! Yeah, take it away, Biggie.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's Breaking News.
Ow! Ugh! Stay on the scene. I'm your news machine. Right, there we go.
We can't do that. We can't have that. No.
Can we
just
go straight to the Nexus?
I weren't ready for that.
That's
You're going to warn me about things like that.
I think we're both at Planty.
On March the 22nd. Shut up. On March the 22nd, Valve are excited to officially announce what we'd already said. Counter-Strike 2 is now official. Counter-Strike 2 is an overhaul to every system, every piece of content, and every part of the CS experience. And it's coming this summer.
And the most important part is it's free. They're just
What?
It's not a new game. They're just updating Counter-Strike Global Offensive to Counter-Strike 2. Everyone gets it for free.
Good. That's my favourite prize.
Yeah. I mean, it's already a free-to-play game now anyway, but it's still, it's like they're not making a separate product. They're just updating what exists. Great. Good move, Valve.
This is the way forward, isn't it? The last few years, online shooters, they're all free because they just earn the money through other stuff.
Yeah.
You get more people on that way, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
So,
Next.
Yeah,
I'm still not
exciting.
going to play
I might
it.
give Yeah,
No, I'm not.
I might give it a go.
I probably
I
won't.
mean, for the hour of nostalgia and the updated graphics, and then none.
Then,
I'm just
yeah,
not good enough to play it.
I was say you play it for an hour, then uninstall it after you get wall banged for the 15th time by some teenager from South Korea.
Oh, I tell you what, actually, that just reminds me. I played Titanfall 2 online the other night.
Ooh,
I just
you can't.
what's the point? I can't
do it.
I can't go anywhere without just dying straight away. Everyone
do
is
it, mate.
too good.
Well, it's
Everyone is
impossible.
too good.
Well, it's also the PC version is absolutely fucking broken.
No, it fixed. We played the Xbox version.
Oh, okay. Because the PC version was broken because it was constantly being hacked. That's besides the point.
No, it's
Thing
fine.
is, Stig,
it's just,
mate, you're
I'm
getting
just
closer to
shit,
40, your
so
reflexes are
shit
shit.
at it now. Yeah.
That's what it is, pal. It's catching up to you. All right, motorbike, relax. Fucking hell, did you hear that?
What's happened about
they
that?
were meant to
We
be
put
in
that
the fire.
Yeah, we put that in the fire a few weeks ago.
Fucking hell, I've got double glazing.
I heard it through here.
The window's open.
No way, not when that boiler's turned on, mate. Fucking no chance. Anyway, next.
I'm afraid to say the UK CMA, the UK Competition Watchdog, has updated its provisional findings and has said that the Microsoft and Activision Blizzard merger will not result in a substantial lessening of competition in relation to console gaming in the UK. This is a major step towards closing the acquisition and me running out of news.
See that, Oodles?
Low news week.
You're not going to get harmed by Call of Duty.
Someone showed a picture of like
I've not been sleeping thinking about it.
you could go on Game Pass through it. It's like it's a shitload of games, it's big games.
Yeah.
But I think what they'll do is if it goes through, I imagine what we'll see is everything in the backlog of the last couple of this generation and maybe last generation on there, and then anything new like Diablo 4 and a new COD you probably have to pay for this year anyway.
Yeah, just because of contracts and stuff.
Mm.
Cool, next, bored of that.
Honkai Star Rail, the sci-fi themed gacha RPG from Genshin Impact developer MiHoYo, looks very much poised to be the next big thing. Over 8 million fans have pre-registered to play the game already, more than a month before its official smartphone release date. Pre-registration is free, and there's incentive to do so. The developer's given away 1 free 4-star character and 20 Star Rail passes, whatever that is, which are the tickets used to pull more heroes.
I played an
There
hour
you
of
go.
Genshin Impact and I deleted it. It's fucking crap.
I've got to be honest, Biggie. That first sentence, I thought I'd had a stroke.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I didn't
that-
understand a single word you said.
He's been practicing them big time.
Yeah.
I've just been reading. I have no idea what I just read.
It's just,
I know, I've seen the
Breaking
advert.
the news then.
I've seen the advert again, like Stig mentioned other week. It's just really young-looking girls, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
the game.
The last three times that we've done a talks over for the PlayStation thing, there's been a Honkai Star Rail
Yeah.
thing. And it's just like,
Yeah.
at no point has it ever actually said what the game involves. But
Yeah, I thought it was a
we've-
train game, me.
Yeah, but we've both played Genshin Impact, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's like Breath of the World with underage anime girls and microtransactions. Let's not.
I deleted it about an hour because the first hour feels like a real game, doesn't it? And then it goes, you might need to buy another character to get past that cave. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Buy?
Or
Fuck that.
or wait 14 hours or something like that.
No, forget it.
Nah.
See ya. Yeah. Next.
John Wick director Chad Stahelski,
Didn't practice that one. Didn't practice that one.
has been tasked with bringing Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima to the big screen and wants to find a way to recreate the splendor of Sucker Punch's sandbox in cinemas around the world. Speaking to Discussing Film, he shared a little insight into how he's planning to adapt one of PlayStation's biggest hits. Ghost of Tsushima is a really interesting story if you really dive into the tale of Jin Sakai and what the film is about.
It's not.
If you tie to these amazing visuals, you can already tell from the John Wick films that I love colour and I love composition. To really try and not only live up to, but exceed the game has done with visuals, it's completely fascinating to me. He wants to really
They're doing
push
that
the
game
colour
that's
palette.
based on Kurosawa, and they're
It
just going to
doesn't
do a Kurosawa-style film, which we've
Yeah.
seen millions of.
But it doesn't do Kurosawa very well at all.
Very well. No, it doesn't.
It's a beautiful game with
Americans
a
doing
dishwater
it.
story.
Yeah, there's no. I like the game as to play, but a film. Good luck to him. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Like Kurosawa, I make mad films. Okay, I don't make films, but if I did, they'd have probably Sword of Tsushima in it. Something. I don't know. That's some lyrics somewhere. Exactly.
Next.
Apparently, fan favourite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles graphic novel, The Last Ronin, is getting a video game adaptation.
Now we're
The
talking.
Paramount Global Senior VP Doug Rosen confirmed to Polygon that the third-person action RPG adaptation will be a darker, more mature take on the TMT IP, reportedly likening the game to Sony Santa Monica's God of War games.
Into it. Bang into that.
Nice. Love a good,
More turtles, the better.
Good turtle game. We didn't talk about that trailer from the other week either. That looks great.
Oh, the new film. Yeah, it looks brilliant.
Seth Rogen one.
Yeah. With actual teenagers doing the voices of teenage turtles.
And actually having them act like teenagers.
Yeah.
The art style's really good as well.
Yeah, it's got that Spider-Verse vibe to it.
More turtles.
Is that the one where
That's all I
Jackie
can say.
Chan's doing the voice of
Yes, Splinter.
the rat? Splinter, that was
The rat.
The rat. Show
Just
some
the
respect,
rat. That
mate.
bloke's that's the rat.
Put
That's
some
Master
respect
Splinter
on that.
to you.
Yeah, put some respect on his name.
Fucking master. He's a master of many mixed martial arts, mate. He'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
He's a fucking rat.
And he gnaws through carrier bags like nothing.
I mean, I don't really like Seth Rogen that much, but I'm into him playing Bebop. I think that'll be really funny.
Yeah.
He's got the voice for it.
Oh, he really does his weird laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. More turtles, the better. Bring them on. Next.
Podcast favourite Adam Sandler has received the Mark Twain Prize for American Humour. With 80 movies, 4 billion box office tally, and 7 albums under his belt, apparently Sadler is a superstar.
No, it's not. Did you put this in stick? Did you put this in?
Of course I did. I saw it randomly. I was like, I just chucked it in there.
He's won the Mark Twain Award for fucking comedy.
So do I assume that Mark Twain must have written like 5,000 novels to get an award named after him? Because
Must have
Sandler,
done.
like, I'd say he's a 1 in 12, maybe a 1 in 15 Sandler for success.
Yep. And only when he's not doing his funny films. Quote unquote.
Oh, wow. Absolutely.
When he's doing his dramas, he's good then.
Guy can act. Man's got chops.
Yeah.
All of his
Absolutely.
dramas are really good.
Yeah.
They are. He's not funny though.
And yet the film that comes out next week is Murder Mystery 2.
Oh,
the
what?
fans were screaming for that, screaming for it.
I mean, anything to get him playing the partner of some really hot
I was
Hollywood
just going to
actor.
say that, like every time he does a new comedy film, his wife.
Who's
is
his wife
always
in this?
Jennifer Aniston. Again.
Oh well, God, yeah. Why not? I'll get one of the best looking women on the planet
Hasn't
to
he,
be my
like,
wife.
his wife's been Salma Hayek was
yeah.
one, and Kate
Salma Hayek.
Beckinsale.
Salma Hayek was grown-ups and
Kate
grown-ups too.
Beckinsale. He's had literally all the best looking women on the planet.
The thing
He's got
about
Drew
He was like a
Barrymore in a
chud.
few.
yeah, Aniston has got a painting in the attic getting older and more ugly, whereas he's got a painting in the attic getting funnier and funnier.
I noticed it said 7 albums under his belt. I didn't know he recorded albums.
Comedy
Yeah, I
albums.
knew
Comedy
that.
album.
From his stand-up
Yeah.
days.
I knew that.
Oh, okay.
He does that Hanukkah song, doesn't
Medium pace. That was quite funny.
Yeah,
When I was a
the
teenager.
writer of the one of only 2 Hanukkah films, though. So you know, there's loads
Very
of Christmas films. There's not a lot of Hanukkah films.
It's because it's shit.
Right, okay, I'm out.
I'm saying that. Next.
There is a 4
Hang on.
hour and
Can we
11
just say the film, not Hanukkah?
I misunderstood. I thought it was some sort of hate crime was going on here.
I didn't mean the season.
I will make that perfectly clear in case anyone who's listening to this, like, he means the
Yeah, my
film.
mum.
Yeah.
She'll be fucking fuming.
Candles and 8 days of gifts. Fucking wank,
I've got
mate.
nothing against menorahs at all. Fucking hell. I meant the film.
Nearly got you cancelled there, Oodles. Saved your ass there.
Again, cheers, mate. I'm glad you're my PR fucking officer.
It's fucking risk having oodles on the internet every week, isn't it?
Next.
The 4 hour and 11-minute extended version of Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, more on that later, will release in theatres on April 13th and April the 19th. I couldn't see any news about the other movies actually being released
No, it's just this
extended
one.
in the cinema, but They just seem to have gone for this one.
It's the 20th anniversary of this film this year.
They did the last one other year.
Oh, did they?
They didn't do one for Two Towers. They didn't do one for Two Towers. They didn't do Fellowship either because it was still kind of COVID at the time.
Yeah, COVID, yeah.
Well, this is the Oscar-winning film, Return of the King. You know, all fits in.
Yeah.
Give us an intermission and I might go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long haul, isn't it?
Yeah,
4 hours and 11 minutes.
I like watching them extended ones because I've got them all on Blu-ray. I like watching them all throughout the week, before bed. You watch a bit throughout the week.
Well, I quite like because they're over 2 discs that, you get to the end of the disc. Yeah, that's enough for tonight. I'll watch the rest of it tomorrow.
That's right, yeah.
And the decent cut-off points where they've put it, haven't they? Where they've
Absolutely, yeah. It's real kind of like Once Upon a Time in America kind of intermission time, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. I might go see that, though, in cinema. I didn't see Return of the King at cinema first time around.
I saw all 3 of them in the cinema when they came out, and it is a very good cinema film.
It's not first 2.
They're all very good cinema films.
I was in Japan when that came out and just didn't go to cinema. I'm in Japan. Why? Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to cinema. So, yeah. Next.
Frodo at the end going, Yatta!
We're just getting cancelled hard this week, aren't we?
Speaking of older movies, a remake of Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo's in the works.
Oh, piss off.
A Vertigo.
Yeah.
Stephen Knight is
when
writing
the original's
script.
Perfect.
And Robert Downey Jr. is eyeing to star in the lead role.
I cannot see this being any good because, as you say, Udo's Vertigo is one of the few Hitchcock films I would say are perfect. There's nothing wrong with Vertigo at all. It's brilliant.
So they did two remakes. One was a kind of a hidden remake of Rear Window, and one was a really gruesome remake with Christopher Reeve. I don't know if you've seen it. Christopher Reeve, towards the end of his life, in his wheelchair, doing the whole Rear Window thing. And then they made that Disturbia thing about the kid that was tagged.
That's right,
Same thing,
couldn't
isn't
leave his...
man,
stop.
Real life cannibal, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
Real life human eater.
Let's not forget Vince Vaughn's remake of Psycho.
I do. I tried to forget it.
The One Kid.
A shot-for-shot remake.
And you can see Anne Heche's arsehole on that.
You can, yeah.
You see her arsehole in pure plain sight.
The Disturbia one, I kind of get. It kind of.
It was for that generation, weren't it?
To a younger audience. But,
for the MySpace generation at the time.
So I kind of get that one, but none of them, they're all just pale in comparison to the original.
Stop remaking good films and remake shit films. It's dead easy.
Yeah.
It's dead easy.
There you go, Hollywood. You've heard him.
Yeah.
Remake stuff that failed and do a better job.
Just get good, Hollywood.
Do it. Cool. Next.
Tommy Wiseau is back behind the camera again. The director and star of The Room has debuted the trailer for Big Shark, its first follow-up feature to his trademark 2003 cult melodrama.
I didn't even ironically like The Room. I thought it was shit.
I've never watched it. No interest.
Dreadful.
People ironically love it.
And it's going to these like shout-along things at the cinema, throwing plastic spoons at the thing. Everybody that works in that cinema hates you. You're not as funny as you think.
Did not hit him. Oh, that bollocks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, hi, Mark. I've put up with that for 20 years now. Oh, hi, Mark. Fuck off.
I bet you have, yeah.
The thing is, I don't get why this is new. Like, he had the trailer for Big Shark out in, 2018 or 2019, and it looked shite then. But I think he's re-edited it because apparently one of the people who were in The Room, who's in Big Shark, is not in it anymore.
He had a big fallout with one of the
main guys from The Room.
Sestero or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's the main guy, yeah. So he's the guy that wrote the book. If you've not read the book, The Disaster Artist, it's brilliant. I hate the film. Yeah. The film is so nasal-gazing. No, I don't like the film. I turned it off after 20 minutes. I couldn't watch it anymore. It was like, how funny are we? Just read the book. Read the book.
The book's good.
Yeah.
But, the trailer for Big Shark just looked shite. In general,
I bet fucking Candy's listening to this going, I love The Room. I loved it. I love The Room.
She's going, Big Shark. I hope that's on Sci-Fi soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope they go into an ice cave full of ice sharks.
Did you see
the most dangerous of sharks?
Did you see that thing I put on Discord? That posted tagged Candy in.
Yeah.
The Beaster Bunny.
It was a big monster grotesque thing, weren't it?
Yeah. I really hope she watches that. Please watch that, Candy.
That's why she's not here today. She's watching that instead.
Planty, I've got to ask. After the Ice Spiders review last week, did you go and watch the trailer?
I did, yeah, I did. And
terrible.
you know what? It's the kind of thing. It's the kind of thing. So my wife and I on our very first date. I took her to a fantastic art gallery to see her favourite painting. I took her for sushi, and then we watched Two-Headed Shark Attack, starring Brooke Hogan.
I've seen it.
The kind of shit that we absolutely love to hate, whereas Candy just loves to love it.
Yeah. Again, it's unironic for her. She just likes it. There's so many great films out there. Why waste your time?
And then afterwards, I showed her my one-headed shark. Lads.
We'll get to that.
Come on, Biggie, next.
So you've got... where was I?
Don't know.
Kumail... I've lost it. Where's it gone?
Nanjiani.
I've lost their names. Nanjiani, thank you. James A. Caster.
Mm-hmm.
Patton Oswalt. And Emily Allen Lind, I think her name is, have all been added to the Ghostbusters Afterlife 2 movie that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
The James A. Caster.
James A. Caster, that's a fucking reach, isn't it?
That won't confuse me because you see all those names appear in lots of films these days, but they're like, James A. is there an actor? And then I looked at it, no, it is the fucking weird bloke from Taskmaster.
Yeah,
he's so good.
The food podcast guy.
He's a funny bloke. He's
very
bloke,
funny, but I've never seen him act. So
and he's a prolific podcaster, isn't he now?
Yeah.
Like
very
really
funny,
successful on that. But I think they're doing that thing where they got that other guy, that posh comedian that went round world with his dad. They got him to be an actor, didn't they, in the Rock film and stuff like that.
I mean, getting him to be an actor's a fucking push-oodles, but okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got him to do it. So they're probably thinking, let's get another quirky British guy.
Jack Whitehall, you mean?
They did it with Richard Ayoade in that
Richard Ayoade as well, yeah.
Yeah,
he
did it with him.
Bit of the flavour of
quirky British guy.
For a year, wasn't he? In the Watch.
That's what I think they're doing.
That terrible Ben Stiller film.
Oh, wow. I forgot that existed. Yeah. So,
Ben Stiller.
By numbers, surely in the next 3 years, one of you guys is next to hit it in Hollywood. Who is it? Who is it going to be?
It's got to be Stig, because he's like the most generic British guy I know.
yeah, but Oodles, you've got the waistline for Hollywood.
Haven't I?
He would look great in a corset. Yeah,
I would.
Absolutely. This year coming up as Marilyn Monroe.
Training regime, though.
Get me on that Marvel, and then I just come out like, it's been 4 weeks, lads. Look at me.
I'll be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
There you go. We've got you in.
It was man. They put you on steroids. You'd look like the fucking cartoon version of Bane. You'd have these tiny little legs and this like triangular shaped chest.
The fire rises. Oh, it'd be so good. Oh, get me on the next Ben Stiller vehicle. Fuck it, I'll do it.
The Watch 2.
The Watch 2. Watch hard.
Watch out for Oodles.
Or Mystery Men.
Watch this.
I like Mystery Men.
The podcaster.
The podcaster. For Oscar bait, and I'm just sat here going, I'm so depressed with my podcast. I want it to be better. And it'll be me and fucking, I don't know, some big Daniel Day-Lewis type and the podcaster.
It'll be you podcasting with other people, but having your screen off so nobody can see quite how emaciated you are because you've not left your room for so long. It's very Oscar baity, that, isn't it? Yeah.
It's like The Whale, but the other way around.
Yeah. A stick insect.
Hollywood, if you're listening to this, we have just
the anchovy.
This now. This is ours now. The anchovy. Yes.
This stuff writes
Congratulations.
Itself. Very much like The Whale, I think. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Come on, next.
Ash Ketchum and Pikachu, 2 characters who've been in the heart of the Pokemon series since it started in 1997, retired as the protagonists on Friday. The final episode was relatively quiet, but it was meaningful, allegedly. The story ended where the journey began, in Pallet Town, and incorporated several callbacks to the series' early episodes.
I didn't know Pokemon was still going.
That lad's been 10 for 26 years.
26
That's Bart
years.
Simpson. Even longer.
Not bad going, that. 26 years. I watched that when I was like in early teens, and then it just dropped off, obviously, the older I got, and then...
I've never really watched Pokemon show. I've seen a few bits of it, but I've never really watched it.
I've seen a clip of like the closing scene. It was quite sweet. Like I remember, yeah, like you, Stig. I watched it when I was a kid and just kind of fell off it as I got older.
Just a bit too old for it.
Yeah, credit to them. I mean, it's kept the voice actors in work for quite a long time.
I prefer Digimon, guys.
Oh, now you're talking. Yeah.
That's what I preferred.
Is Pallet Town the place where when you're driving up the motorway you see all those adverts, we'll buy your pallets? Is that where they all go to?
That's Washington Services, mate.
Washington Services, you're right. Barely a services.
Next.
Breaking news, Twitter is about to unverify people who don't pay the $8 a month starting on April Fool's Day. Despite impersonation chaos, Musk sticks to a plan of unverifying notable accounts. Starting on April the 1st, we'll be winding down our legacy verification program and accounts that were verified under the previous criteria, active, notable, and authentic. Will not retain a blue checkmark unless they're subscribed to Twitter Blue.
So it's basically it's going to become a point where if you're on Twitter, anyone with a blue checkmark is a cunt.
They pay
because they're willing to pay for
because companies
blue
get
check
gold
mark.
ones, don't they now? Which is automatically you're a company. They get gold ones, don't they? Like MPs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but if you're a company, you have to pay for it. You will do because you're a company. But people who are journalists, like film reviewers, podcasters, or even celebrities, will just be like, nah, like
not bothered.
Not bothered. Yeah,
we'll get a lot of at the real big cop man on Twitter now.
Oh, there's already one. It came up earlier on Twitter. Seems to be doing a thing now as well, saying for you rather than just my following.
Yeah,
which is really annoying me. And it's bringing up loads of stuff that's not interesting, including this one, which was Monica Lewinsky, and it was her saying, "Oh look, somebody's verified as Monica Lewinsky." She goes, "This will be fun." She goes, "I'll see you on Instagram." Like.
Oh,
you know what I mean, like it's already happening. People verifying themselves as other people.
There's so much social.
You can always
this week.
You just said that the problem is the truth. The false news gets around the world before the truth's even out the door.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
So that's
you can always tell the modern escapism one by the spelling mistakes. It's verified.
Yep, that's the one.
Stick fight back.
At least I can pronounce words.
Whoa! Next, the weird world of the web. A Tesco superfan got his club card tattooed on his wrist and has only saved £18 worth of points. He got the QR code permanently inked on his arm because he would keep forgetting it. It's been 8 months since he went public with a tattoo, and he still has no regrets.
The tattoo will have cost more than the club card saved. You can save your club card to your phone, like I do. So
get one of the keychain things.
Yeah,
I have it on my phone because I always have my phone on me. So why not just do that?
You can even just screenshot the barcode, can't you?
It's just some bellend who wanted to be in the news.
The same as that guy over here that did the Greg's one. He had the Greg's one, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he got 3 Greg's every time he went in. Boo.
This guy Dean
he got 3 Greg's, did he?
No.
He plans to get a tattoo of his nectar card for when he shops at Sainsbury's.
No one shops at Sainsbury's. Who's
got that kind of money?
I know. Stay with the Marks and Spencers lately. It's ridiculous, Sainsbury's. Anyway, is that the news, sir?
That's it, mate.
Fantastico. Let's get on with the Nexus. It's the time where we can all celebrate what we've been doing this week. Stig, what you been up to, mate?
So a couple of things I want to mention. The first one is a film called Unwelcome. It's about a married couple, Maya and Jamie, who escape their urban nightmare to the tranquil of rural Ireland after they're given a house in a will, only to discover malevolent and murderous goblins lurking in the gnarled ancient wood at the foot of their new garden.
Ooh,
sounds great.
It does.
It isn't.
Oh.
We watched it last night and we were both hoping that this would be some kind of scary film based on Irish folklore. These little kind of and it would be, these creatures, you wouldn't see them, but they would be tormenting the couple that lived in the house or causing things to happen that was making them second guess things and, scary things in the night and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. What happens is that you actually get more of kind of home invasion style newcomers in the local area. We don't like you kind of vibe going on with some of the locals. And then when the goblins turn up, it turns into gremlins, but not in a fun way.
Oh.
So they look really shit. And it's just not fun.
The Gremlins
And-
looked great back in the day, don't they?
It doesn't
Quite
know what it
real
wants to be. Is it a horror film? Is it this like horror / folklore thing, or is it horror
Fantasy
comedy, fantasy film? It genuinely, like at parts, like you said, it's staged like a fairy tale. It almost looks like a fairy tale in parts of the film.
But not in that good Guillermo del Toro way.
No, but none of it meshes well together, and it's just a massive disappointment. Worst film I've seen this year. Like not worst film I've seen, but the worst film from 2023.
Okay.
Like,
And we're nearly in the 4th month of the year. That's strong words.
not good at all.
Oh, dude.
So, and the other film I watched this week was the big film recently, Cocaine Bear.
Ooh.
Go Game Bear. Is it good?
Nope.
It is not.
Stop it!
It is not good.
It's the only two things I've done this week. I'm sorry. The only two things I've done this week just aren't good. So Cocaine Bear is, most people know the setup. It is based loosely on a true story about a plane that dropped a load of cocaine into a forest and a bear ate loads. In reality, it died about 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
In this film, it goes on a murderous cocaine binge, gets off its tits, keeps trying to track down the rest of the cocaine.
I call that a Saturday night.
Like, I mean, it is obsessed with the cocaine. When it sees the cocaine, it wants the cocaine. Like, it's
So it is a true story.
developed a bad
I don't
habit.
think you develop an addiction first time you ever do it.
I mean, it does
That bear's
swallow
crazy.
like a whole bag full of it. So it might,
All right,
it might have
yeah.
sped
Dependent
up,
on it
might
to
have
live.
sped up the process. Yeah. So it kind of throws together this odd group of police, criminals, tourists, teenagers, and it tries to do it's kind of horror comedy. There are, there's some fun deaths in there, but outside of that, the kind of Cocaine Bear thing wears off pretty thin. Quickly, I was kind of bored, like throughout the vast majority of this film. I know a lot of people will like it and get a kick out of it.
Can do.
But it's up there with those kind of Sharknadoes, but with a bigger budget.
I hate them
for
all.
me. It's that it just doesn't.
Piranha 3D gubbins. I don't like
Yeah,
that
it's
stuff.
like Piranha. Like
It
it
is.
just doesn't hit like as well as I hope it would be.
They're
the
always
film-
trying to be Jaws and they just can't remake Jaws. They can't do it. No one can do it.
but it knows what the kind of film it is.
I'm ready for Cocaine
It's
Shark.
not trying to be anything different. It's not trying to be clever. It's not trying to lure you into some false sense of security with it. It knows what it's doing. It's just that the jokes and everything around it aren't funny.
Yeah.
It's
So-
been done so many times
Yeah,
already,
it has.
and it's just throwing money at it doesn't make it any funnier. It's almost like they go, "Oh, hang on a second, this is a really obvious gag. Let's just go. Oh, great, let's go with that. Like, no time to write another gag. No time to write a better joke or a better segue into the next scene. Let's just go with it." And the cartoon bear looks like dog shit as well. It
Does
really
it?
does. To me, anyway, the bits when it's quite blatantly a cartoon, it looks like it's just been drawn.
Yeah, sometimes it looks all right. Sometimes when it's moving and in action and kind of going on a bit of a tearaway,
It can't look as bad
looks
as
a bit crap.
Velocipasta that I watched.
Oh,
No,
No, it
it's
doesn't.
that low budget. It's got a lot. It's got a bigger budget than that. Obviously, it isn't going to be up there with a AAA blockbuster film
No.
CGI, but it's
not a Spielberg, is it?
perfectly good for a B tier movie. That's because that's what it is. It's a B tier horror comedy.
Doesn't have an high-profile director. What's her name?
It's Elizabeth Banks.
It's Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks,
That's
yeah.
it. That's it. Yeah.
Can,
What's she doing?
can we stop giving her money to make films? Because she's directed 3 films: Pitch Perfect 2, Charlie's Angels, and Cocaine Bear. None of them are good.
That Charlie's Angels one's pretty damn bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So there's not a scene of the bear trying to argue its way back into a nightclub after being kicked out.
I'm fine, mate. I'm not even off my head. I'm fine.
There's the scene where the bear becomes one of the Bardem Bellas.
It gets really
Fine,
cockney
lads.
all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's just not good. Like I think Do you know what? It's not even the same kind of film. If you want to watch a B-tier horror comedy that does it right, watch something like Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the kind of film you want to go, or A Cabin in the Woods, something like that.
Yeah.
It's just
Cabin in the
so
Woods,
much
so
better
good.
than this.
I feel like this had. Sorry, Stig. I know this is your thing,
That's
but I just
all
feel
right.
like this had 3 too many characters. 3 too many major characters. Like I didn't understand why there was groupings of 3 characters at a time or 2 characters at a time, when really you just needed one to come across the other 2 characters and build a little group, instead of let's have 12 of them and try and smash them together, because we know we'll lose some, that'll be collateral damage, but we've got to have this number, and one of them gets injured in a comedy way, and one's got to be Ray Liotta in his final film role.
Fuck off! Is that his final film role?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oscar-nominated Ray Liotta.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad time.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's just too much, too many people. Like,
No wonder he went into witness protection.
Anyway, yeah, I think some people will get a kick out of it. I know some people have. Just wasn't for me. I found myself just being very bored by it. So a bad week for me, unfortunately.
Well, I've had a good week, so I'm going to talk about my week. I've obviously played to completion Resident Evil 4,
Of course.
but obviously, but that's not the main thing I want to talk about, because if you've played GameCube one, the original one, it's a better version of that, basically. If someone else wants to chat on that more, maybe Gadget, when he's finished it, he's better at explaining that kind of thing. He's a professional. However, I've been wanting to review this on the show for the past month, because I've been playing this for the month. It's been under embargo. Remember when I told about a fishing game other week?
Yeah, boy.
Right.
Ooh,
I've
so
been
excited.
playing, and it's technically, I'm telling you guys now, and I'm breaking embargo just by telling you. But by the time the podcast comes out, boom, we're fine.
So you're not breaking embargo because
To you, I am. To you guys.
It doesn't work like that.
it doesn't work like
No, it
that.
don't.
Drop the
Yes,
episode
I know.
early, Gadget. Drop the episode early.
I was
Drop
saying,
the
it's
episode
Can-
early.
can we
Drop the
report
episode
him?
early.
I'm just really excited about this game, and I want everyone else to love
do you
it.
think when it comes to embargoes, like video game reviewers are sat there waiting for the day the
Yeah.
review comes out to type the actual review up?
I've not been to work. I've been waiting. I've been in my bedroom. She's like knocking on the door going, come out, I can't. I've signed an NDA.
Fucking hell, man.
Anyway, the game is called DREDGE. Oh, Black Salt Games with Team 17. So Black Salt, I think it's their first game, and Team 17 is publishing it. So set the scene. DREDGE is a single-player fishing adventure with a sinister undercurrent.
Yeah.
Yay.
You sell your catch, upgrade your boat, and dredge the depths for long-buried secrets. Explore a mysterious archipelago and discover why some things are best left forgotten. Now, I had to tell you about that paragraph. Now I'm going to tell you what I think. It's fucking brilliant, right? This game, it's fishing, but like with H.P. Lovecraft involved. So if you have a little Google while I'm talking about it, you'll understand what it is. You play as boat. You are boat. And you have to...
I am Job.
Yes. Yeah. And you've got to
Waiting
like...
at boat face.
Yep. You go to the first part and everyone's a bit like Blood Barney. You know Blood Barney, Gadget, when they're all a bit like... "Rah."
It's got I'm looking at the art style. It's got a look of Darkest Dungeon about it. I quite like it.
Yes. I was going to bring Darkest Dungeon up because it gives me that vibe. So for a while, for an hour or so, you're a fisherman. And a fishing game is made or broken by its fishing mechanics, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a bad fishing mechanic, it's not going to be good. It's brilliant. Simple. Nice and simple. You're not waggling fucking controllers about or anything like that. It's just a nice, simple little QTE fishing game. Take your fish back to port, sell it, make your boat better so you can go further off into the archipelago, into the unknown dark depths. There's a day-night cycle, and at night time, that's when everything starts fucking going wrong. If you're stranded out to sea at night time and you like big eldritch fucking horrors and stuff like this, it is brilliant. And you've got to like find treasures. There's actual real missions to do where it's not just about fishing. You've got mysteries to solve as boat. You don't get off the boat ever, so don't expect to be walking around islands and stuff. You are boat. it's just, it's so fucking good. I got the code on PS5 and it's buttery smooth, mate. So I think it's coming out on everything, but everyone's kicking off about the Steam Deck version. And I know you two got Steam Decks. Apparently it's perfect Steam Deck fodder when it comes out. I just, honestly, I want people
things
to...
about it. Like, it's been on Twitter a lot this weekend.
So on Metacritic now, it's still landing on an 80. But I think people went in expecting a horror game. It's not a horror game, Anita. It's just...
Is it a creepy game?
Yeah. You can die and stuff, you know what I mean? You can... It's called insanity. When you're in the dark, you get insanity. There's an insanity meter, basically.
I mean, I'd go insane if I was out fishing, but...
Yeah. It's just really good.
I downloaded the demo on Thursday night on my Switch, and I played 3 hours without... Rachel was out, thankfully. I played 3 hours without putting it down. I actually didn't even stop to go and get anything to eat or anything. I just sat and played 3 hours until I got to the end of the demo, and I just dropped in my pre-order, 20 quid, straight away. So it's got all that fantastic eldritch kind of stuff simmering in the background at the bit I'm at the minute, and you catch fish, and some fish don't quite look like normal fish.
No,
and some things aren't right. And you don't really know, and there's mysteries happening in the towns that you visit. It's super. It's one of those fantastic little worth 20 quid, and I've already dropped three hours on the demo, so I know I'm going to get 20 quid's worth of value out of it.
Well, I've finished the game now, and the first run through I did of it, it took me 15, 16 hours, so hefty, nice chunk of game, and there's an end game where you can just continue. You don't. The game never has to stop if you don't want it to. Oh, it's so good. I'm honestly thinking now, in a year that I've had Dead Space to play, I've had Resident Evil 4 Remake to play, I've had Monster Hunter Rise on PS5. I'm thinking Dredge is probably my game of the year so far.
Fucking hell.
Fucking mental. It's so good.
The mechanics
I normally
are
hate fishing games as well. I normally hate those mini games that you get.
Yeah. Well, the mechanics are so simple. It's button press mechanics, isn't it, Oodles? And then you get to a point where you can literally dredge the sea, and there's a different mechanic for that, and that's great. And the things that you can, and it is little mini games. And I did expect when people were banging on about it, I'm not gonna like this. And I thought at one point I was kind of like, I hope I don't have to get my Mad Catz Dreamcast fishing rod peripheral out for this. I did not. It's literally button pressing. It's great.
It's also gave me probably the biggest jump scare I've ever had in a game. I'm not going to tell you why and what, but it gave me the biggest jump scare, and it was just it weren't like a made moment. It was just a moment that happened. It wasn't scripted or anything, and I fucking shit myself. So again, it's not a horror game, but Eldritch horror does get to me. It gets into my core a little bit. So if that kind of like space, otherworldly gods and fucking Cthulhu's and stuff get to you a bit. I just think it's fantastic, and I think you guys, especially like a Switch, Planty, perfect Switch. I didn't think I should have got the Switch code instead. That would have been better. Because I bet it runs well on Switch.
It does, and I think it's one of those things that if Rachel's watching something on the TV, like she's watching Disney Plus,
dredge it up, babe.
Then I can literally just undock it and just sit and play. Yeah. And that's what I did, even though I was in the house on my own, nobody there.
Still
I didn't even think to dock it. I just picked the Switch up and I just sat on the sofa. And before I knew it, I looked up and it was dark. And I was sat in a freezing cold front room with no heat on. The cat begging me for food, and I'm like, so, mate,
Planty's insanity meter were going up.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you guys on your Steam Decks as well get it. I mean, Big E, you've got PS5. Just get it anyway, pal. You'll love it. You'll all love it. I think you'll all love it.
I like the sound of it. I just generally don't like fishing mechanics in games because I don't see the point.
Trust me, it's not.
It's obviously based as an actual fishing game. So
it's like the person's fishing game that doesn't like fishing. You know what I mean? It's their game.
Yeah, it can't be as bad as the Final Fantasy 15 fishing mini game.
No, that's awful. It's awful. This is a simple fishing game, but quite addictive. And then you unlock more stuff. You get harpoons later on down the line. You get metal detectors. You get dredging equipment. You get a crane and stuff like that. And they've all got a really good like rhythmic type of mini game to them, and it's just a sensation. But yeah, I love it. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. Thanks for the code, Team 17. Cheers. Biggie, what you been doing, mate?
Well, speaking of weird fish, I've been watching and listening to Chernobyl, the TV series and the podcast series. Finally got round to 2019 historical drama miniseries, and yes, what a show!
It's fucking brilliant.
Just utterly blown away by it. Just loved it, start to finish. I mean, you know, the story that it's obviously based on, and just seeing a lot more about what had happened as accurately as they could obviously do it as a show, which I think it stuck pretty much to the majority of what had actually happened. It's all based on factual data, books that
In some countries
came
it
out
weren't
from
factual. They did it, didn't
the
they?
people that lived in it, and yeah, just incredibly well acted, directed. Also done by Craig Mazin, who did Last of Us show
He's
as
the
well.
one to watch lately, that man.
And the podcast itself is just as good.
It is.
Just, you know, maybe half hour, 50-minute podcast on each episode. Just really interested about stuff that they put in and what they couldn't put in and time, etc. And the actors, Jared Harris, Stellan Skarsgård, Emily Watson, Paul Ritter, to name a few, were excellent.
Oh, Paul Ritter was so good in
Paul
this.
Ritter was amazing.
Yeah.
He's insane, isn't he? In it,
He played an absolute arsehole so well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And
it-
never
against
ever
type
took
as
any
well, wasn't it?
responsibility. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
You've watched them all now, Biggie? I think, have you?
Yep.
Yeah. So you've seen Trevor from EastEnders as Knob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Star of the
just
show.
checking. Just checking. Yeah, absolutely the star of this show.
I was disappointed that Paul Ritter didn't go, I'm boiling. Take his top off.
Started eating a sandwich out the bin.
Lovely bit of
Peel the
squirrel,
skin
Jackie.
Yeah, just can't recommend it enough to anybody, and especially if you've come off the back of watching The Last of Us and need something else, then yeah,
You can feel DNA in it, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And a lot of people said to me once they'd watched it. I mean, I've got a mate, my mate Gav, has watched it 4 or 5 times. I can never watch that again. I don't know how anybody can watch it a second, third, fourth time.
It's like a Schindler's List thing. You watch it once, you're blown
I
away
don't
by it.
100%,
You don't put it on for a casual Sunday watch.
No.
Come on, babe, sit down. Let's watch Chernobyl again.
Yeah.
If it's not the Bridge of Death scene, I think I think it's episode 2 that ends with the divers with the
that's fucking your heart.
dosimeters. What are they called?
Dosimeters.
Dosimeters, thank you. Those all going off, clicking away. Just in the
It's like
ghost bar.
heart in
It's
your
just
mouth
like,
moment, that in it.
Oh,
Awful.
To be honest, that and shooting dogs doesn't do anything for me. I don't need to see people shooting dogs in the street.
No,
you don't.
Oh, that cock again.
I was very disappointed he didn't get it out in The Batman.
Oh, he was in that as well, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was, yeah.
He's in something else recently. Oh, he's in Andor as well, wasn't he?
He is in Andor. Yeah. He's brilliant in Andor.
Crushing it.
He's put some beef on, like, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So there's hope for me yet. There's hope for me and my little knob yet.
Is that your week, Biggie?
that was it, mate.
Excellent. Speaking of little knobs then, Planty, what you been up to?
Well, this week I've been mostly watching Prime, not the substandard flavoured water shit that people are gouging one another's eyes out for the fucking little rat children.
Stig's got some.
Not anymore.
I mean, the substandard streaming service from Jeff Bezos. He's not content, of course, with cutting down half the rainforest named after his scummy company. Hang on a second. His scummy company's named after... Anyway, yeah. But after I got next day delivery on a charger and a cabin bag for John's upcoming stag do in the sun, which I'm fucking dreading, by the way, Rachel and I sat down to watch Class of 07.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this, lads, but it's... Australian, first of all. So Australian TV, you don't see a lot of it, and when you do, usually it's pretty fucking gruesome. Australian TV and film, usually they do horror pretty well. But this is Emily Browning. You would. You know her from Sucker Punch, which brought me back to remembering that piece of shit Sucker Punch.
That was a bad film.
Bad don't come close to how...
That's what you're saying, because people will come at us for that.
Oh, I know, and I don't care. I'm sorry, if it's your podcast, I should care.
She's too busy at Snyder's three film extravaganza.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, lucky us.
They'll get us.
She was also in that Legend film, not the Tim Curry Red Devil, Tom Hardy,
the one with the,
and Tom Hardy. Yeah.
I want to shoot at. I'm here for a fucking shoot at.
And if you're Scottish, you'll also know her out of that bloke from Belle and Sebastian's film. but we're not Scottish, so we've probably never seen it. It's called something. There's Something of the Girl or whatever, and it's a musical film. It's all set in Glasgow, and it's actually pretty good. She's got a not bad English accent in it, but Australian, so why not? She's Zoe, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but she makes a massive fool of herself on national TV, and so she goes off grid to get away from the online abuse that she's getting.
Okay.
In the opening 20 minutes of episode 1, so I'm not going to ruin anything for you, but there starts to be tremors. There's no graboids. She heads to high ground. And the one a bit of high ground nearest her is her old high school, where coincidentally a 10-year high school reunion is going on at that very moment. The area around the posh Catholic school floods, and they're all trapped. It's funny, it's awkward, and most of all, my favourite thing about it is it's only 30-minute long episodes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
which
please.
very much like you said with The Consultant the other month, it's dead bingeable. It's really bingeable.
Yes.
I think we've got 6 episodes in probably about 2 nights. So we're really enjoying it. It's like Lord of the Flies meets Mean Girls, but with Aussies. So there's loads of swearing, fighting, being shit at cricket, that kind of thing. He says in an Ashes year. And we learned that 28-year-olds aren't a lot different from 18-year-olds. Like we didn't know.
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah. Class of 07, I'm going to...
Yeah, it's quite sweet. And it's just turned quite nasty. So like throughout, you're kind of like, okay, you see the friendships, and you see the cliques, and you see all that kind of stuff, and there's a few bits, but it starts to get probably about 4 episodes in, pretty nasty without being overly gruesome, if you know what I mean.
Oh, Planty, you should play Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, I should. I have watched streams of Doki Doki Literature Club. I require not to play that.
That starts off lovely.
It does,
free, which you can do on a stream.
Yeah. I've also been reading. I don't.
You haven't.
I have been reading. I know. I can't believe it. I don't find a lot of time for reading these days. So I've got a pile of books on the side of my bedside table, and for the first time, probably in about 15 years, they're not all autobiographies and out of print Star Wars Extended Universe books from the 90s.
They used to be so good, them Extended Universe.
No,
books.
they're shit oodles. They're rubbish, mate. They're
Thrawn?
like fan fiction. Oh no, Thrawn's different. Thrawn's great. But all the other stuff, like Jedi School.
Rogue Squadron.
Origins of the Crystals.
Yeah, Jedi School and the Tales from Jabba's Palace. They're all just written.
Yeah, they were bad.
With all these prostitutes that he made. Oh, God, he were pimping all the fucking women out. Oh, God.
You're a feisty one. Anyway. For Christmas, Rachel got me Pyongyang, A Journey in North Korea. It's a graphic novel by Guy Delisle. Now, I have been trying to hunt down who recommended this to me, and I thought it was Dean on Twitter, from Podcast Twitter, and I thought it was another few other people. It wasn't anybody on here, was it? I should have probably asked this before I started talking about it. Okay.
No.
I couldn't think.
No.
I still can't think of whether
We did say
it was.
a few years ago that I wanted to go to North Korea, but they're definitely not going to let me in that country.
You are not welcome. No, absolutely not.
They'll let you in, they're not going to let you out.
The story on this one is the writer's trip to North Korea in the early 2000s to work with the National Animation Studio. So he was an animator and a writer. It's really interesting. Yeah, well, they do that. But it's all French animation teams. So when he goes out there, it's French animators from, I think, Canal Plus or somewhere like that are dealing with their national kind of television channel and film creators. And he's in a hotel of about 30 stories, which is just one floor. There's one floor with people in it, and there's one canteen, there's one restaurant, and there's like 4 other hotels with each a restaurant of their own. And sometimes he'll meet an Italian and he'll say, right, come to our hotel and try our restaurant. And they're all the same. They're all exactly the same. He gets charged $5 Canadian for a cup of Nescafe instant coffee. He's not allowed to walk anywhere without not only his interpreter, but his the person from the government. So there's all that kind of thing. They take him on day trips out to places, but he never sees anybody on the street. Like he goes to they take him to museums, but he never sees anybody on the street. And then at night time, when there's no lights on the street, you kind of see people scurrying in the darkness and doing whatever. Yeah. So it's kind of, and it's really sweet. It's written not disrespectfully, but he will not be allowed back. With this writing, I would recommend it to anybody that's interested in North Korea, even slightly. It's called Pyongyang, A Journey in North Korea. You will get it dirt cheap because it's like 20 years old.
Yeah.
If you like comics, you'll like it. If you don't like comics, you'll probably still like it. They tried to make a film of it, I read, in 2014, but the studio lost its bottle when that awful
the dictator.
No,
the missiles were aimed at them.
The interview.
The interview came out, and there was that hacking of Sony that was allegedly.
That wasn't even a terrible film. I don't even like them. I don't like Seth Rogen that much, but I think the Katy Perry bit were funny in the tank.
I'm never going to watch it. I'm never going to watch it.
You're funny.
That's me.
I thought it was quite funny.
Excellent. And the last person, but surely not least. Gadget, what you been doing, pal?
So yeah, I'm not really going to talk much about Resident Evil 4. It's a remake that's nearly. It's pretty much 1-to-1. Like, I enjoyed.
It's pretty much 1-to-1.
In
a good way.
Yeah, I enjoyed Resident Evil 4 when I played it in 2006 or whenever it came out on the PS2. I so far have not noticed a single difference other than new voice actors and new graphics.
This is good.
And they've moved certain things to different places, don't they? That's it.
Yeah.
This is good for me who never played the original.
Because you've never played it.
Yeah, it's great for you. You'll connect with it more than. Like, it's not that I haven't connected with it. I'm enjoying playing through it, but it's
great.
It's not like the Dead Space remake where I wanted to keep going. Like, I'm quite happy to play an hour of it then hop off. Whereas Dead Space, I was kind of pushing because I was adoring. So, so I'm not really going to talk about much about that one. I think probably I'll talk Stig when you eventually get around to playing it and you do a review on it. I'll talk about it then. But it's good. If you like Resident Evil 4, it's good.
It's really good.
But what I'm going to talk about is a better game. Because I told myself I wasn't going to do this year because I've got so many things to play on my backlog. But the kind of the pre-hype kind of got into me, and I blame Stig for it mostly because he keeps bringing it up. Because I've been replaying Hollow Knight this week.
Oh, it's the fucking Stig's. This is the best thing Stig's ever done for me. Hollow Knight.
Because the Silk Song is supposed to come out this year.
He's promised us, ain't you, Stig? Promised us.
The sequel's supposed to come out this year, and I kind of put it into my head that when we had a release date, I would play through it again, so I'm prepared. But I saw someone on YouTube playing it, and I was just like, oh shit, I'm going to play Hollow Knight.
It ain't a quick game either, so you've got to really push through it sometimes. Ooh.
So Hollow Knight is, for those who haven't played it, what's wrong with you? It's a 2017 Metroidvania by an Australian developer called Team Cherry. It's made by 3 people. You have to remember that one. It is made by 3 people. It features a
I don't believe it still. I don't believe them. I think they're lying.
It has the most gorgeous hand-drawn, kind of cartoony art style, with these beautiful painted backgrounds. You enter into an insect world of Hollow Nest. You play as a small bug called the Knight. And you have to basically find out what's going on because it's gone all a little bit Dark Souls there. Everything's dead and everything kind of wants to kill you, is just kind of vaguely hostile to you. And you explore this world. As you kind of upgrade and beat bosses, you get spells, you get new abilities, your double jumps, your dashes, your climbing up a wall-y thing. And it is one of those games, I think there are loads of Metroidvanias out there. Whether it's, Castlevania or Metroid themselves, or whether it's like Dead Cells or Elden Souls or Blasphemous or whatever.
Or the Mummy Demastered.
Or anything like that. But I think Hollow Knight is the perfect example of a Metroidvania. It is perfect.
I think it's better than Symphony of the Night after a long...
Yeah.
Do you know when I'm back and throwing in my head, is it better? Is it better? Yeah, it probably is better.
It is wonderfully paced. It has some beautifully inventive boss fights. The combat is precise and tight, but also forgiving enough that you can kind of fuck up in some fights and get on with it, unless you're doing the ridiculous DLC ones. It's got kind of this wonderful ambience to it, a really nice soundtrack, great boss music. It is just one of the best games of all time.
I think it is. I think you're right, mate.
And I adore it. And yeah, like I've finished it before. I finished it on the Switch. And I'm playing it on Steam now. I'm about.
It's just been updated on Switch again.
Yeah.
I think a little patch. I don't know what it is. I don't know what
just a performance patch because it happened on Steam as well.
That's fine then.
I got so far in my playthrough. I think I'm about a third of the way through. I've just beaten Soul Master, which is
yeah.
Which is one of the bosses I actually struggled with on my first playthrough.
City of Tears.
Yeah, City of Tears. It's a wonderful world to explore. It does that Dark Souls lore thing where like the story is told through kind of little side conversations or random bits of lore that you find on rocks and item description stuff. Yeah. I'm not going for the 110%. I got a lot of grey hairs doing the White Palace and beating the Radiance. I'm just going for a Hollow Knight kill. But yeah, it's nice to be back in one of the best games of all time. And it's great because it plays so well on the Steam Deck. I'm literally just, when I've got an hour here or there, I'm just picking up the Steam Deck. I'll go through, I'll explore an area, beat the boss, remember that I'm not very good at games, and then put it down and go off and do something else. But yeah, I would...
Such a special game.
It's a really special game, and I would really thoroughly encourage you, if you haven't played Hollow Knight, but you have played like a Castlevania or a Metroid or Dead Cells or whatever.
I think everyone in the world's played Metroid or Super Metroid.
Or like a game like that, like these kind of 2D explore 'em up combat games.
Yeah.
Play Hollow Knight because it is so good. Yeah. Even if it's just for the art style, and you'll fall in love with the combat. I think my favorite boss so far that I've beaten on this run, I think might be the Mantis Lords. I adore the Mantis Lords because
it's a good fight.
It's a great fight because
3-on-1.
Well, because you think it's 3-on-1, I'm going to get absolutely steamrolled here. But you fight one of them, and it shows you what their movesets are, and then you fight the other two at the same time. And when you get it right, it becomes this wonderful ballet of all of the mechanics in the game. And that's what I love about a good Metroidvania, where you have to get the combat and the movement right at the same time, and Hollow Knight just fucking nails it. And it's ridiculous that it's a 3-person team that made it.
I did. I watched a deep dive on and Team Cherry were talking about a year ago about like Mantis Lords came up in that because they were saying they based every area on a real world country.
Yeah,
like subtly, like Mantis Lords, Japan in it. There's samurais, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then the interviewer asked, so the beehive then, what's that basically? He went, sugar everywhere. It's America.
Makes sense. They're all fucking turtled up and armored and full of weapons.
I was like, okay, yeah. And nice. If you look at it all, like Dirtmouth, the first area, that's Britain. It's always raining, isn't it? That kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's always in a bad way.
So
love it.
Yeah. Just play the fucking game, everybody.
It's so cheap as well.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where if it's a game out of my comfort zone that I consider in my top 10 of all time, you know it's good.
Must be good.
Yeah.
It must be good, yeah. Have you played it, Biggie? You look me very quiet about it.
No, I have it. I played it for an hour or so. And
do you know what? That'd be a better stream than your Dark Souls one. I'd love to watch it.
I wasn't sure where I was supposed to be going because you got what seems to be
it's an absolute mystery. It's a mystery, and I've put it down.
The first few hours, you're lost.
Yeah, I've played it and put it down 20, 30 times over the space of 2.5 years. I still haven't finished it because I get to points where I'm just like, just fucking fuck it. I'm gonna smash this through the fucking window if I don't put it down.
Yeah, don't ever try the White Palace. Then you'll hate.
No,
you'll hate every second of that.
I managed to do that.
That is the fucking hardest bit of platforming I've ever done in a game.
I love White Palace. I've done it a few times.
There's 3 things that I didn't finish on that, and I was quite happy to. I didn't do all the stages of. Is it Zote?
Oh yeah,
Mighty Zote. Yeah. All 10 stages. I did.
You don't need to. You don't fucking get anything. I didn't.
You get a trophy.
I didn't do the final stage of the circus, and I didn't do the final stage of the arena. That's the only 3 things I didn't do.
They're probably toughest bit, so it's all right, mate. Don't worry about that.
I've done the Grim Troop. I haven't.
I love it.
I haven't done the Colosseum, like the very last one of the Colosseum, because it just
Colosseum of Fools.
Yeah, it just got to the point where like I don't have the stamina for this, and I haven't done the last area of Godhome because that's 42 boss fights in a row, and I'm not. I'm just not.
I love them.
I know, but
in between.
You have ADHD. You can concentrate on these
things. I did do that, but I don't think that was out when I played it.
It wasn't, mate.
That's
when you told me to play it, it wasn't out.
That's the most recent DLC.
Yeah. I love it. Get it played, Biggie. Stream it. It'd be better than Dark Souls 1.
It's got bugs in it. They're adorable.
Yeah, even the spiders aren't horrible in it.
Oh no, they fucking are. I hate them. Nah. Whenever I go down to Deep Nest, it's just like, no. Just like
Running across the screen, don't they?
you can do it. They're cartoons. You can do it. You can get through this. And
Imagine falling into Deep Nest without the lamp.
I know.
Shit, what am I doing?
That's the one bit of the game I've learned to speed run so I can get in and get the fuck out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, man. Excellent. This has been a great week then, hasn't it, for us all?
Can I mention one more thing? I completely forgot to mention this in mine, but it's topical for you and things. This week, both Oodles and That F King Show had Rob Jones on their podcasts. So on Deep Dive Lounge and on That F King Show, both fantastic listens. Such a good,
lovely bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, such a good guest. He was great on Deep Dive Lounge, and then today on F King Show, like it made me cry.
You were crying as well.
Yeah, like it just the story he told, like it was so wonderful, and it made me go and like just give my wife a big cuddle and kiss afterwards. I was like, that was really nice, really good episodes, both really good. So definitely check them out.
And even better than that, get yourself on his show. Because he's got great questions, and any questions about music, and I know you guys now, I've known you guys for a couple of years now, any questions about music, you are going to be turning those questions over in your head for weeks before you answer them. And then if you're anything like me, you're going to be not sleeping at night because you answered wrong. Because you've changed your mind. Because instead of coming up with the perfect festival, you thought you'd do a comedy bit, you fucking idiot. So, yeah.
Yeah, he asked me to go on. We're gonna
get on. Get all of you get on. It's so great. He's such a nice guy. I don't know where he's come from, but he fell into our our little Twitter sphere out of nowhere, and he's commenting on everything, and he's got points to make. We're getting him on for High Fidelity. You guys missed out. Eventually later this year. So there you go.
He's going to be the one out of all of us that actually makes it. And he's going to go straight past us and be bigger.
I'm not joking. That story told on That F King Show, that could be a film. Like, just
I know.
Genuinely, like, it was really good.
We love you, Rob. We're going to get him on Modern Escapism as well at some point, the actual show.
Yeah, definitely have to.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And Dean's nice as all. We said his name a few times today. He loves it. He gets paid 7 pence every time we say his name. So,
Dean?
Yeah, Dean.
Dean.
He also gets like
someone talks about him. I just think of Community.
Dean.
I could just imagine Dean just walk around with a half dress and a half suit on.
Man,
standing that way.
Yeah,
standing that way.
I think I went too far with this one.
I miss Community so much. Not that it's disappeared, but I just miss it.
The movie's coming soon.
Yes. Yeah. Main topic, and we do like a knockout tournament on this show. We've done many. We started, the first ever one was it biscuits or crisps? Biscuits. Then we did crisps. We've done alcohol. We've done what have we done? Games, films. Now we're going back to films. We're going back to films in a way, but it is award season, guys. So we're doing Best Picture awards at the Oscars, the knockout. Bum bum. So whoever's running the thing, I'm not. Crack on.
I've got it all set up properly this time. Yes. We're all ready to go for once.
Yes.
I've typed them all in. I'm going to generate the bracket, see what comes up.
Do you know how this works, Planty? I know you listen to the show, but you didn't.
I'll figure it out. Just go for it.
You've just got to defend your own film.
You've got to sell it.
I figured if it was like crisps, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same as that.
Are we still having the mulligan round first?
You have to because we're odd numbers. Right.
Oh, he's in pain. Two of his films are against each other, aren't they?
No, it's just a big one to start with.
All right.
They're all big ones, but this is 1974's Best Picture winner, Godfather Part 2, versus 1943's Best Picture winner, Casablanca.
Sit back, lads. This is going to be a big one.
These are legendary. Biggie. You start, Biggie.
Well, The Godfather Part 2 is a 1974 American epic crime film, produced and directed by, of course, Francis Ford Coppola. This film is partially based on the famous 1969 novel The Godfather by Mario Puzo. This was the sequel to, obviously, the original Godfather, which itself is an incredible movie. Nobody thought that he could strike lightning twice, but bloody hell did he. They decided to split the film into two parts with there's an intersect between each other throughout. The first one is with the earlier life of Vito Corleone, played by, of course, Robert De Niro.
Stop it! It's going to become a thing. And I'm going to start saying it in public, and the people go, what the fuck are you saying that for? A joke between my internet friends.
And it covers the journey of Michael's father, Vito Corleone, from his Sicilian childhood to the founding of the family enterprise in New York City. And then it goes on to carry on with the story of Michael, as he's now obviously the new Don of the Corleone family. Again, with Al Pacino. And the stellar cast is ridiculous. I'm not going to name them all. But you have the return of Al Pacino, Robert Duvall as Tom Hagen, Diane Keaton as his wife, Michael's wife, Robert De Niro, as we mentioned, Oreste Baldini as the young Vito Corleone, John Cazale as Fredo, Talia Shire as Connie, and then the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. But yeah, beautifully shot. The drama, whether it's an assassination attempt on Michael, tries to root out who set it up. He goes into hiding in Havana. He calls for the death of his... Oh, sorry, yeah, loads of spoilers, by the way.
They all know this.
The whole thing's going to be full of spoilers, everyone.
Yeah, he ends up discovering that his brother Fredo ratted him out and almost set up or became part of the assassination attempt.
He's a rat.
And then you see how Vito becomes who he is, as Robert De Niro plays a fantastic role. Of course, trying to almost mimic bits of...
He's channeling Brando, isn't he?
Brando, yeah. He's trying to, put his own spin on it, but also show signs of how Brando did it. And it's just an incredible watch. It's a long movie. It can be quite easy to be lost in it at times because there's a lot to take in, but just beautifully acted. And yeah, I cannot recommend this enough. If you've never seen the Godfather movies, it's beautiful. It's just wherever they go. But yeah, please keep this in.
Yeah, but what's it up against?
Mr. Plant.
So, picture the scene. The year's 1942. The Nazis have invaded North Africa. What a bunch of bastards, right? The Allies, they're not very happy. Jack Warner at Warner's, being an utter piece of shit, decides to capitalise on it and rushes out Casablanca. Right? You've got your romance. You've got your histories. You've got your tensions. There's murder. There's double-crossing. There's triple-crossing. And surprisingly, I'm calling it now, it's easily the funniest film we're going to talk about tonight.
It's fucking funny.
Brave.
It's funny.
No, it is hilarious. It is start to finish funny. Has there ever been a better cast of Hey, It's That Guys? Probably never. You've got Peter Lorre, Paul Henreid, both Hungarian Jews who fled the Nazis, only to spit in their eyes by starring in this utterly mesmerising film. Claude Rains, of course, he's the Invisible Man. You've seen him, or not, as the case may be. There's one of John's jokes this week. He's the Sheriff of Nottingham in The Adventures of Robin Hood, so obviously I love him. And my favourite line that he has in the whole film, they're closing down Rick's Cafe American, which is a place he frequents, and he's like, I'm shocked to find there's gambling going on here. And this guy comes in and he goes, your winnings, monsieur?
So
and he does this perfect double take. I mean, look, not only did it win Best Picture, but it got Best Adapted Screenplay, and it changed the way we watch Warner Brothers films today. Because the opening title card of all Warner Brothers films since 1998 has featured the melody to As Time Goes By at the start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hang on, this isn't your podcast. Stop doing that.
I mean, Biggie, you've got a chance to work hard at your podcast as I do with mine, mate. So if you don't, that's up to you.
Gloves are off.
Oh, hang on a second. I'm not doing Rocky, right? So you know the quotes, all the quotes. I mean, you can't name any quotes from The Godfather Part 2, but you can from this. You played it for her, play it for me. Here's looking at you, kid. Do you remember the day the Germans invaded Paris? I remember. The Germans wore grey and you wore blue. They're all great lines. They're all fantastic lines, perfectly delivered. And there's a happy ending. Oh, hang on. No, there isn't. There's a terrible, sad ending. But it's all right, because it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Ooh. And some terrible impressions.
I'll tell you right now, Casablanca's probably the oldest film I've seen that many times.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I think it's extremely rewatchable.
It's changed the way that films are. Like, films are completely different because of it, because they're not afraid. It's the first film that's not afraid to do love and comedy and politics and any of that. Previous to that, we either had a war film or we had a Western that won the Oscar. We had romance or we had a story of survival. This is all of that rolled into one, and it was rushed out. Can you imagine something this perfect being rushed out to capitalise on
Ingrid Bergman, man?
I mean, what a fox! Yeah, what an absolute fox! And she gave us Isabella Rossellini. So can't argue there.
Yep. No, I'm still struggling though after all that, because Godfather Part 2 is probably the best sequel ever made.
I think it's surpassed the original.
Terminator 2 wants a word.
I was going to say, Terminator 2 is ended the
The Empire Strikes Back's got a problem with you, Oodles.
You can be mine. Oh,
I already said best.
Really good.
Paddington 2.
Oh, yeah. Stig even gave the look. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Right. Well, we already know where Biggie and Planty's vote's going.
I'll go first in this one, mostly because, and this is probably heresy, I didn't enjoy the Godfather films that much. Like, I can see that they are brilliant films. Now, I'm not saying they're bad films. I can see that they are brilliant films, and I appreciate
bad.
Okay. The two that are actual films, not the atrocity that is the third one. But for me, it's one of those things of actual sitting and enjoying a film. The Godfather, the two Godfather films, they're very long and brilliant acting, brilliant performances, brilliant writing, but it's also drawn out. And I'm like, when I've watched them, I'm sat there thinking, just fucking get on with it, lads. You know?
I think it's quite a lot pacier, the second one, over the first one.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying, it's that level of enjoyment watching it.
It's not 109 minutes long, though, is it? Like Casablanca.
No,
it's not.
Oh, please!
In and out.
Right.
I'm not the greatest fan. I'm not the greatest fan of Casablanca either. But out of the two of them, I would watch Casablanca if you put them in front of me.
See, where Michael already knows that Fredo betrayed him, but he waits for his mother to pass away out of a sign of respect, and then when he's at the party and he gives Fredo that last brotherly hug, and then looks at the bodyguard to sort of give that nod to say, like, yeah, you need to take him out. Just
right.
That's all well and good, Biggie, but Fredo's are dead expensive now, so you know.
He's bringing cost into it. Oh, shit.
I watched Casablanca for the first time this week.
Did you, mate?
Question for this.
What did you think?
It's the only film on this list, out of the list, that I haven't watched. It's really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It's not as good as The Godfather Part 2, so my vote goes to Godfather Part 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who does Biggie's thanking you as if he's written it. As if he's Mario Puzo.
No, this is why I quickly got in there, because I know, because he's been sat there going, I don't know, and I'm like, fuck it, I know.
This is the best bit about these episodes of Planty, because we always just manage to get Oodles to be the deciding vote, and he fucking hates every second of it.
I don't like it, because Discord will shout at me later when I pick the wrong one, and Twitter will shout at me. I mean, Mum will shout at me.
No one will shout at you if you pick The Godfather Part 2, because it's every fucking loser man's favourite film. Sorry, Biggie.
Our patrons will shout at us when they hear some of our choices for that show, and that comes out.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. I'm gonna. Ooh, what was that? Someone's just got whacked.
No, I just knocked some off my head.
So the gun was in the bathroom in the back of the Italian restaurant. Someone's just been driven down the New Jersey Turnpike. Those are both much better parts from the first film. Sorry,
They were.
Yeah.
Again,
Stop it.
Now, this is going back to you. You wouldn't have heard this, because we were talking about this off. I was going to pick The Godfather Part 1 in this because I think it's better. I'm one of them weirdos. I like a slow-paced, talky film. It's just the kind of guy I am. However, I'm now going to go with my gut. I use this excuse a lot. What would I rather watch right now? And it's Casablanca.
Brilliant. I'm so glad your guts are full of hot crisps.
Yeah, they are full of hot crisps today, mate. It's just on that. I love both of those films. Like, they are massive films. And I've seen Casablanca more than I've seen Godfather Part 2 because I've chosen to watch that more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why.
Cheers, lads.
That's massive. That is absolutely massive. The Godfather Part 2 to go out in the first round.
Biggie, that's nothing to do with you, mate. I love that film. I just like Casablanca a bit more.
Next up, in Part 1, first up is this year's Oscar-winning film, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Gadget.
Against?
Oh, it'll be against, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Fucking hell, this is big as well. This is quite big.
Okay.
I'm saying that all these films are great. What we talking about? They're all amazing.
It's not
films.
like none of them are bad films.
Yeah. So, I'll go first on this one because I know Oodles can talk for days on Lord of the Rings. So,
it's not me. It's not me.
That was
I wanted it, but he got it before me.
I thought it was Biggie's. I thought it was Oodles.
Frodo!
Anyway, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, this is my favorite film of 2022. And probably, actually, it got straight into my top 10 of all time. You
loved it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's an absurdist comedy drama written and directed by the Daniels, or actually to their mothers, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. It stars Michelle Yeoh, Kiyu Kwan, and pretty much every major Asian actor and actress of the last 20 years, also Jamie Lee Curtis. It tells the story of loss of immigrants losing their identity until, the multiverse kind of comes a-knocking, and Michelle Yeoh has to save everybody. It features ridiculous action combat, dildos, butt plug statues, dildos for hands, sausages for fingers, everything bagels. It's a mad film, but it is one of those films that's absolutely fucking brilliant. The fact that it could give it a scene, which almost brought me to tears, where the only interaction is two rocks sitting next to each other on a cliff. Like, it's incredible.
It's a good scene.
It's absolutely wonderful. This is also, it's estimated this is the most awarded film of all time. Do you want to know how many wins it has at the time of recording?
Is it like 210? Something like that?
264.
Oh, I knew it was 200 and something. I'd seen that. That's insane, isn't it?
Over 400 award nominations.
Yeah, wow.
It is I think it is the most awarded film at an Oscars ceremony, with taking 7 statues home on the day.
Yep. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Not the most nominated, but the most won.
Yeah, the most won on the day.
That.
I think. Yeah. I actually think Return of the King is the most nominated, with like 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's still
followed by Titanic.
Biggie didn't know that. You just told him that now.
But yeah, just almost all the principal cast won awards. Although I do believe it should have been Stephanie Hsu that won the Best Supporting Actress, not Jamie Lee Curtis. That was a bit of a mostly because Stephanie Hsu was in more of the film, and she was better in the film.
She was.
Yeah. You covered this last week, and you're absolutely right. It's kind of a here's your reward. Thanks for your service. Here's your reward.
Yeah, it's a legacy.
Cheers,
award.
Jamie. Retire. That kind of thing, isn't it?
Should retire after that last Halloween film.
Oh, she should have retired before it. Am I right?
I'm going to say, mate, H2O.
I do also need to bring up, though, Planty, I have a bone to pick with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because on Hallmark of Greatness, Last Orders, the most recent episode, you said you were sick of hearing about Kiyu Kwan winning awards.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
I said that other day, and I got attacked for it as well.
I've had enough. And it's look, it is what it is, and I'll make my point when it comes to my votes. But yeah, I've just had enough. I've had enough of hearing about it. I'll save it for the end, but I have had enough. I've had enough of it.
Boring, innit?
But yeah, like it's one of those films that came out of nowhere, and as soon as I saw the trailer in the cinema, I was like, "What is this? And how do I put it into my eyeballs right now?"
I remember when you told me about you seeing the trailer.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about the trailer. You've always.
It's really rare that I see a trailer and I get like immediately excited. Most of the time, when I see a trailer, it goes, "Oh, that looks good. I'll go see that." This was like, "What is it? Give me it now!" And it was. Because it's fucking A24, like the entire world had it before we did. I was furious about that. It's like people were talking,
didn't they as well?
Yeah, like they had it in like the December. We didn't get it till like the February. I was fucking annoyed because I wanted to go see it. But yeah, it's just a stunning film.
But it's up against.
I'm furious.
Return of the King.
Go on then.
It's Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
No, you've got to do a concurrent argument. You've got to do a good argument, or you're going to get vetoed out, mate.
So this came out in 2003, the final of the trilogy of the epic fantasy adventure films directed by Peter Jackson. This was, again, I was excited. I couldn't wait for this to come out. I've seen all of the movies up to that time in the cinema. I couldn't wait. Also saw them with my dad. And he was a big fan of the books as well, so thoroughly enjoyed the cinema trips with him. The Empire review for this said he gave the film a perfect score of 5 stars. In his review, Alan Morrison said, "The resounding climax to a landmark in cinema history," and praised how Peter Jackson had kept the momentum of the series rolling on and on through the traditionally difficult middle part and weak finale, delivering a climax to the story that's neater and more affecting than what most Tolkien managed on the printed page. He also mentioned how fans of the film who have walked beside these heroes every step of the way on such a long journey deserve the emotional payoff as well as the action peaks, and they'll be generally touched as the final credits roll. So we had the origin of Smeagol, Gollum. You had the Sauron and the One Ring are destroyed. You had Aragorn as crowned as King of Gondor and weds Arwen. The Hobbits also retire. The Hobbits return back to the Shire. And back to their lives as they were before. And obviously we have Frodo leaves for the Undying Lands with Gandalf and Bilbo. Just a stunning movie. It had the most effects of more than the previous 2, I think it said. And I just adore all 3 movies. Huh?
I thought you said it has the most effects then.
Visual effects.
No, it has all the effects.
Visual effects.
It has every effect.
All the effects.
It has the most effects. All of the effects.
We have all the effects.
There was 1,489 visual effect shots, nearly 3 times the number from the first film. So you had all the points throughout the movie. You had another big fight going off. It was just beautifully done. You had the Witch King destroyed. You had the final moments with Gollum trying to steal the ring finally at the end, and still that relationship between Frodo and Gollum went on right to the end. You had the fight with Shelob. It was just scene after scene after scene.
That's his favourite scene.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
And it absolutely nailed it, and I adore all 3. But this was a perfect end to a perfect trilogy in my eyes.
Can I just have one slight point of countenance on this one?
Oh yeah.
Are you talking about your knowledge of the extended edition or the theatrical edition? Because the extended edition didn't win any awards. That was a DVD.
No, it didn't.
Because I remember seeing this in the cinema, and this is not me trying to be argumentative for the sake of what we're doing.
Oh no, it's fine.
But
get in there.
Dig in, mate.
I think for the theatrical releases, I think Fellowship is the best of the 3.
I do.
I agree.
Because I think
Two Towers
to get to the runtime, they had to cut so much out of Return of the King. Like, if you in the theatrical cut, you've got the big battle, great. All of a sudden, Aragorn turns up because he's pissed off ages ago, and then there's a fucking ghost army with him. Where the fuck did they come from?
Yeah, they didn't do any of that. They did that weird cut as well, where he's supposed to talk to the mouth of Sauron.
Yeah,
but in the theatrical one, it's not there. It's just like, we've just got through the gates without any issue.
Yeah, or Sam fights Shelob, and then all of a sudden he's carrying Frodo, as opposed to having rescued him from the tower.
Yeah, fight up the tower.
There is so much cut out of it. I think it becomes a weaker film. Whereas when you watch the extended edition, it is what it's supposed to be, and it's incredible. Also, the fucking 45-minute long ending. Nah, wrap it up quicker, Peter. Sorry, that's my points on it.
Biggie, your counterpoints?
No, it's still a perfect end to a trilogy for me. I've got no
I'm going to vote
because
because I don't want to be gridlocked or anything like that. Lord of the Rings is probably my favourite book trilogy of all time. I'm going with Return of the King, mate. I'm doing it. I think the film's brilliant. Even
it was an unfilmable book. And they still pulled it off.
Well,
I mean, they didn't film it out like the book, so that's the thing.
No, they didn't. It's an adaptation.
There had to be some changes.
It's
a lot of changes.
Adaptation. There's massive amounts of changes. Huge. They invented characters for this film because it were easier for Peter Jackson.
All plot lines were invented for this film.
Yeah, it's still great. It's not a perfect adaptation. I just think the battle on Pelennor Fields is probably hands down one of my favourite battles of all time in cinema. Because
it still fucking hits, even though I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
Every time I watch that scene, it still fucking hits.
It's just perfect. And you've got your big battle scenes on some films, especially Oscar-winning films and stuff like that. But I think that moment in that final film is just, I think it's just perfect. I think even the theatrical cut, I think it's still a perfect film. So yeah, that's why I'm voting that.
It's so tough for me, this, because the issue I've got, the only real issue I've got with everything is that, well, the issues I've got with everything in the world ever that's ever existed.
You are a Nottingham Forest fan.
I was just about to vote for your film there, Gadget. I've changed my mind all of a sudden. You smarty git. Anyway, the issue I have with everything, just to give it its shortened name, is that it's too long. Right? It bangs on and it carries on, and I just felt like we didn't need quite as much of it as we got. I would absolutely love a succinct 100. Maybe 110-minute cut would be brilliant. We could still have plenty of the action. We could still have lots of the heartwarming stuff. You're right. Absolutely right. All of you are right. I was brought to tears by the bit with the rocks on the top, on the mountaintop thing. It looked fantastic. It played fantastic. I wasn't 100% into the relationships of them, but Oodles, you're right. Actually, it changes so quickly and so fast, especially that end bit. You know, that last kind of section of battles. I would have loved more of that throughout and a shorter film.
Yeah.
So it just should have been shorter. Now, if my problem is that a film should have been shorter,
you go for a 3-hour film.
I can't, in all rightness, vote for the film that took 50 minutes longer than it needed to wrap up at the end. I just kind of... But at the same time, I don't think Biggie will ever speak to me if I vote for everything, because I can't knock him out twice, can I?
There are so many plot lines that needed to be wrapped up in that story. They had to.
You vote on the film, don't
Okay.
Because if we've... I'll get to it in a minute. You pick.
Yeah, okay. I'm probably going to have to go with... This is so tough. I'm not even the deciding vote, but I'm going to have to go with Gadget's pick of everything. But more specifically...
That's you unfollowed.
That's me not giving a shit, mate.
Mate, you made him watch Ice Pirates. I think he's got enough in the bank.
Oh, shit, yeah, I owe you. I owe you big.
He enjoyed it secretly.
Yeah, we had a good time. I think for me, it's got a great cast. It's a fantastic number of people. It's great the way it's written. It's something different. Okay, I think there were probably some, dare I say, pity Oscars given. I don't know. What do I know?
Definitely.
But for me, I could watch that and I could watch another film in the night. I couldn't watch Return of the King and then watch another film in the night. So I'm doing it based on length only, which is what Outlast does on a regular basis. So you know. Sorry, Biggles.
Steak.
Oh, this film goes against one of mine in the next round. So I could vote tactically here, but I wouldn't do that because I'm voting for the film. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. I have to vote for the film, and I love both of these films. And I'm sorry, Gadget. Had it been against other films, it might have got through, but I can't vote against the Return of the King.
Return of the King, mate. It's a fucking classic. It's a modern day classic.
I do love. You know how much I love that Everything Everywhere at Once. Like I was, me and you were probably like the biggest, cheerleaders for that film on here.
Oh, yeah, I've not shut up talking about it for a year now.
Yeah,
he wakes up screaming it, everything, everywhere, all at once. Every morning, he wakes up out of his bed.
I would have, against some of these others, I would gladly have put it next, but I fucking love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. If it's going to lose against Return of the King, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
it's not a terrible loss, is it, mate?
No.
Right.
Okay, well.
Next up, so we're into the quarterfinals now. We've had our two.
Thank you, Stiggy. Again.
You up?
Thank you, Stig.
Oh, okay.
You two got a bit of a fucking
tactical thing going on.
Pick the film that I prefer.
I'm just noting what he's saying. Yeah, thank you.
Gadget.
And Oodles as well.
You're up again.
Hey.
So Birdman now, and this is going to go against Casablanca. So we've already heard Casablanca's argument.
I mean, I've fucking lost here, but let's go for it. So, Birdman.
I like Birdman a lot.
Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, is a 2014 American black comedy drama directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu? I don't know how to get his surname.
Inarritu.
That's it. This is a quite prescient kind of parody of the idea of superhero films. It stars Michael Keaton as Regan Thompson, who's a faded Hollywood actor best known for playing the superhero Birdman in the late 80s and early 90s. You know, around about that time that a certain Michael Keaton was playing a certain Batman. As an actor, his career has kind of been like on the rocks throughout the 90s and into the early 2000s. And he is starring at the start of this film in a play called What We Talk About When We Talk About Love. The film also stars Zach Galifianakis, Edward Norton, Andrea Riseborough, Amy Ryan, Emma Stone, and Naomi Watts. So it's a pretty strong cast.
It is.
The film has kind of some surrealist themes about it. I can see actually the two choices I made for this one. They're just really weird films. What's overriding on this one, and I think what kind of makes it stick out to me more than anything as a winner, and I think this was also the same reason for Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's the kind of the technical way they've put the film together. So the whole shtick with Birdman is it's done as if it's one shot. Yes. It's obviously not one shot. They're just clever editing that puts it together because he couldn't do it. But because the film is centered on Regan Thompson being in a play, they've made it look like a play. The camera is always following Regan Thompson. The other side to it that I absolutely adore is that the soundtrack is entirely drums.
Yeah.
It's just a single drummer playing throughout the entire soundtrack. And it works. It matches the pace of whatever scene it's in, the dialogue, or kind of whatever tone it is. And the fact he's doing it with drums, like there's no notes in it. It's just beats. But
it's effective, though.
It's very effective, especially in weirdly enough in the sad scenes.
Yeah.
The cast is absolutely on fire. Like Michael Keaton is incredible in this one. I think he was up for best actor.
I think he's always been incredible.
No, he has, especially. But this is kind of like a real standout one for me that makes you kind of pay attention because the character he's playing, Regan, he's kind of losing it a bit. Like the whole thing, because everything is from his perspective. Things get a bit weird. Like he sees Birdman talking to him and saying, "You shouldn't be in a play. You should be going back into superhero cinema." He's like, "No, I'm too old. That's over." No, you should do it. And it builds and it builds and it builds, and it gets more chaotic. And you got this quite iconic scene where he gets locked out of his dressing room. He's in his pants and a dressing gown. He's running through Times Square to try and get around to the public entrance to the theater so he can get in to do the final scene. And it becomes this kind of comedy of errors. Edward Norton plays a bastard in it because I think that's just all he can play because he is one. But he plays it so fucking well.
Stretch for him, that one.
Oh, it's a real stretch for him. As seen in Glass Onion this year.
when he's not throwing his shoes at the director of photography or fighting the craft service assistants. He can act.
Yeah, this is one of the rules where you can see that Zach Galifianakis can act. You know, like his performance.
He's good in it, isn't he? He's really
very
good in it.
because he's not playing a fucking idiot, which is what he's been playing all up to this point. And
He's
what
not
been
between
known
his
for.
two ferns, is he?
No, he's actually acting. I know it was a weird pick, like given of all the things that have won Best Picture over like the 95 Oscar ceremonies. This is a weird pick, but I think it's a little bit like Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's the least Oscar-y film, I think. It's a film that I feel kind of won it on pure merit alone because it is just a really well-written, well put together, and well-executed film from a strange concept that really shouldn't work. It's also a low-budget film. Again, bear in mind this is 2014, so like budget's already going ridiculous. This was only 18 million.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. Like
That's less than our podcast budget.
it is.
That's about 8 million more than Casablanca cost.
Yeah.
It really is.
So yeah, I think it's worth considering, but
For your consideration.
it's not Gantu, is it? It's not Gan against Casablanca. But if you haven't
Well, I like
seen
when
Birdman,
Geordie said Casablanca.
Yeah.
Do watch it. If you've not
Casablanca.
seen it, do watch it.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucking brilliant. And
We
I
went to
think
the
a lot
cinema
of,
to see it. We had a great time.
Yeah, I saw it at
See,
cinema. Really.
I missed it at the cinema. I kind of wish I had seen it there because even like it's not a film that you would think I need to see this at the cinema, but then when you watch it, you think this would be really fucking good in the cinema.
Yes.
I think for the sound, I think it's the sound
Wait,
of the drums.
2014 it came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first time I took my before she was a wife to see that. I think it was. I think it was Birdman.
Yeah, me and Rachel went to see it
And
before
I-
we got married.
I actually did no necking because I liked it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
But you did some pecking because it was Birdman.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey. Voting. Casablanca. Done.
Yeah.
Done. Sorry.
Biggie?
I'm voting mine based on Planty's talking about time.
It's not
Well,
how we do
I'm actually
this.
basing this. I'm actually voting this on the fact that I haven't actually seen Birdman, and I have visited Rick's Cafe in Casablanca, and I've drunk cocktails in there.
Oh, wow.
So the time I went to Casablanca is the reason why I'm voting it.
All right.
Done it. You're in. You're back through.
Yeah,
Gadget's
Casablanca.
out.
Sorry, Gadget. I do like
it's
Birdman,
fine.
but,
This is, like I said, I knew this was a weird choice and it wasn't going to go very
the
far.
look
but
of the draw sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, got to quarter final, pal.
I just wanted to shout about this film because not enough people have seen it.
It's
It's a
brilliant.
fun film. It
Brilliant.
really is, yeah.
I probably will watch that again in the next couple of weeks. Probably.
I think we might.
I think it's a rewatch. That fucker. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll watch it based on your recommendation.
It's not Keaton's best role though. We all know his best role's in The Other Guys as the superintendent of the police. Have you seen him in that?
Do you think in the last
Or
few
Jack
years
Frost.
he's had Batman like
Jack Frost.
following him, going, "You need to be back. You need to go back."
And now he is.
But in the Flash.
With actual cannibal as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had the opportunity for Batgirl, but the Warner Brothers fucked him over.
Let's not talk about that.
Right. Next up, it is 1976 Rocky, which is my choice. There's 1991's Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, what?
So I will go first. Rocky,
Fuck him.
directed by John G. Avildsen, written by Sylvester Stallone, starring Sylvester Stallone, Talia Shire Young, and Carl Weathers. Rocky is the story of a bum.
You're a bum.
You're a bum, Rocky. It is a story of Rocky Balboa, a down on his luck, semi-professional boxer.
Debt collector.
Yeah, who has dreamt of the big time, have dreamt of being someone, and where he's from, what he's, the life he kind of grew up in and everything. It's just he's never been able to reach the big time, and it's just he's ended up becoming just a debt collector, a bit of a guy on the street. He's a nobody really. He dreams of being something and somebody, but realistically, he's just he's a bum. He's a no one, and he gets the opportunity to fight the world heavyweight champion Apollo Creed when Apollo Creed's opponent has to pull out due to injury, and Apollo Creed comes up with this special event. Apollo Creed gives the chance to a local competitor Like,
Is it like the bicentennial or something?
yeah, the American dream. Like, you can, you know, anyone can
The
fight
Italian stallion.
Yeah, and he sees Rocky's name. He likes the Italian stallion, and he chooses Rocky. The thing about Rocky is, it ain't really a boxing film.
It's not. I don't think any of them are.
Nope.
It has boxing in the first 5 minutes, and it has boxing in the last 10 minutes. The rest of the film is 100% like drama, a love story,
It's a character study, isn't it?
yeah, rags to riches in a way style. It is basically the American dream. That's what it is. It is what is known as the personification of the American dream. Is if you work hard enough and you put your mind to it, you can achieve big things. Sylvester Stallone wrote this whole script in an afternoon after being inspired by something that he saw regarding Muhammad Ali, and his only request, the studios loved it, and the only request he said is he wanted to be the lead, and they said no. Eventually, he managed to broker deals and everything, where he became the lead, and it's his greatest role ever. Like, he'll never, for all the shite that he's pumped out in the 90s in action films and that, and big
And the Expendables.
muscly action hero, when he becomes Rocky Balboa, he just slips into someone completely different, and he's always fantastic. But this one here, this first film is just absolutely incredible, and the soundtrack to go along with it is by Bill Conti, is just amazing. Everyone knows the Rocky soundtrack. Going the Distance, when that hits, is just incredible. And one of the best things about Rocky as well is he finds love with his friend's sister Adrian, and the thing about Rocky is he doesn't care about winning. A story about, I have to win. If I don't win,
Going the distance.
yeah, exactly. If I don't win, then I'm nothing. It's not about that. Going the distance and seeing it out is the one thing that he needs to prove to himself that he can do this, and he does that. And at the end of the film, I watched it this week, and it really hit me again. He don't give a shit. They're all asking him questions. The interviews are asking questions. All he wants to be is with Adrian, and he's like, "I did it." Like, everyone knows the whole, "Oh, Adrian, I did it." Like, we did it line. Like, that's all he cares about. Like, he cares more. I did it, and I'm with you, and that's all I care about. And he
didn't even know that he'd lost.
Yeah, he didn't even care. He wasn't even listening to the results. He was just looking for her, and he just proved himself. And everything leading up to the fight as well is fantastic. He goes from doubting himself, and he has this big showdown with it's not Paulie, is it? The trainer.
Buster
Mickey.
Mickey,
yeah. Mickey. About like, Mickey's like, you can be someone. He's like, I'm not in my prime. I've never had a prime, and he doesn't believe in himself. And then we get what is, I think, probably the first ever training montage. I can't think of one before that.
No, there was Chariots of Fire, I think. Is that before or after that?
After.
Chariots
of Fire is 80, I think.
I think you're right then, yeah.
The training montage is brilliant. Everyone knows it. Earlier in the film, we see him trying to run up the steps and he can't do it, and then he does it, and it's such a good
He brought
film.
grey joggers back into fashion.
Yeah, I'm wearing my grey joggers right now for it.
So am I.
You did it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
just
am I.
a film that too many people will be put off. It's a boxing film. I don't care about boxing film. It ain't a
Not a
boxing
boxing
film.
No.
Boxing is the backdrop. Don't have to worry about the boxing. But Stallone is incredible. The script is incredible. The movie is incredible. Rocky.
The Silence of the Lambs, 1991. Jonathan Demme. Also did Philadelphia, which is another film I really like. Starring Jodie Foster, Ted Levine, and Sir Anthony Hopkins. So, I don't think there've been many people listening to this that's not seen Silence of the Lambs, but just in case, a young FBI cadet must receive the help of an incarcerated and manipulative cannibal killer, Hannibal the Cannibal Lecter, to help catch another serial killer, a madman who skins his victims, Buffalo Bill. Based on Thomas Harris's, I think that novel is called Silence of the Lambs, isn't it, that one? It's not his first one, though, is it? I think, is Red Dragon his first?
Red Dragon's the first, yeah.
Yeah. I've read them, I just, in random fucking order. But yeah, Silence of the Lambs was one of the first thrillers I watched as a very young man, and it really, it did something to me then. Oh, God. So, in 1991, I didn't watch it in 1991, obviously. I was about fucking three years old.
Turned you into the killer you are today.
Turned me into the murderer that I am today. / cannibal. And it's one of those films that's always been in my life in a weird way, because I like Hannibal as a character. Again, I don't think Anthony Hopkins is the best Lecter. I don't think he is at all. But there's just something macabre but magical about this film. It's one of those. I'm assuming you've all seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those films. You can't take your eyes off the film while you're watching it. There's something. Jodie Foster's fucking killing it as well, man. She's absolutely crushing it. That scene at the beginning when she's training at FBI and stuff like that, and then she's that famous scene when she's walking through the asylum and that man's wanking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chuck's fucking spunk at her or whatever.
Another inspiration for you in life.
Absolutely. And the first ever meeting with Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter, with his mask on and stuff, and no, he ain't got his mask on first time, has he? But he stood there, and you expect, because they've been talking him up and like, don't go close to him, and he's such a charismatic, seemingly sane man, isn't he? And it's sinister. And at that moment, he becomes talked about like Darth Vader, Freddy Krueger. He becomes one of the biggest baddies in cinema. And I think that's what we take away from. Yeah, obviously, Ted Levine's fucking fucked up as Buffalo Bill, but you're still waiting for more Lecter, aren't you? He's not in it much. But when he's in it, that's when the magic really is. And I think, I've got a feeling it's the interaction with Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins that won it. That's how I feel. Obviously, I weren't there. I didn't vote for it. But I think that's what really, guys, I fucking love it. I think it's anything, anytime he's in it. Unfortunately, the following films weren't as good. But you had more Lecter in it, but it weren't as good for it, if you get me.
Too much Lecter, arguably.
Too much.
Maybe what's make
maybe
this
too
one
much.
so good is that he's not in it, and he isn't the villain. You know, keep that in mind. He's not the villain
just
here.
there.
Yeah, he's the guy helping you to find the villain until hang on a second, he does
He's
something.
the man in the chair.
Yeah, that's exactly
man in the
right.
chair.
Yeah, well, no, he's the man in the mask and that thing that they wheel him in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a friend for dinner and all that. Oh, it's just so fucking. I don't know. There's something about Sounds of the Lambs that has always, like, I remember them rumblings of a year when they're saying they're going to remake Sounds of the Lambs, and I was shaking. I was like, don't. Do you know what I mean? Don't. Obviously, we've got all this like Hannibal TV show and stuff that does its own little. It's more based on the books, isn't it, than the film? And again, Manhunter's probably better, but it didn't win. I love Manhunter. I think it's fucking brilliant.
It's stylized.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I don't know. There's something about Sounds of the Lambs that's always like done something for me. However, Rocky's my 4th favourite film of all time. So do what you need to do, guys.
No one ever played Rocky Balboa. Only one man played Rocky. He played it to perfection.
Still to this day.
Still to this day.
I'm not arguing. I fucking love Rocky, but it more goes on people's taste now.
Well, I'm just going to point out that I haven't seen Rocky, so I'll abstain from this one because it's not fair for me to say Sounds of the Lambs goes through on the virtue that I haven't seen the other one.
Just vote for it.
Oh, Biggie did that.
I know, but I'm a better person than Biggie.
Just vote for it.
Jesus.
Wow.
We'll see. We'll see what Planty.
It's a default, isn't it?
All right, for me, it's so tough. It's like Sophie's Choice, except if one of my kids was a fucking boxer, but don't think he did a joke, and the other one was a guy that puts people down a fucking pit. Ted Levine's perfect. I must share the picture of Ted Levine looking into the pit, or either the picture of Ted Levine, dancing, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me, daily, and mostly to my wife. You'll be pleased to know, listeners. It's fucking beautiful. Yeah, it's fantastic. And that bit at the very, very end in the dark where he's got the night goggles and she hasn't.
Yeah.
That's fucking beautiful.
It's stunning, isn't it?
But that said, it's not even the best Hannibal Lecter film. It isn't the best Hannibal Lecter film. Rocky is without a doubt the best Rocky film. Without a doubt.
100%.
Without a doubt. As much as I love Rocky 3, and I sob my heart out every time I watch Rocky 3. And I've probably seen it about 50 times. Sorry, Rocky 4 is where I cry my heart out. Rocky 3 is where I go, come on, old man, come on, pregnant woman, come on. You just want to fight everybody. I just want to fight everybody.
I like Rocky 4 is my favourite because of Paulie's wife.
He's so good when he come back. Rocky
Robot.
Balboa.
Happy birthday, Paulie.
I love you, Paulie.
No, I've got all the other Rockies. I'm going to watch them all again, but I've got the proper the new recut version of 4.
Mate, they've done. Aren't they done a? They're talking about doing a new a recut version of Rocky 5 because fuck me, that film's too long for what it does.
Recut it to 30 minutes, please.
Yeah, because that's too long for what it does.
Recut it and put it all in the bin.
Recut it of just him punching Tommy out the end. That's how it starts. That's how it ends.
And this is such a difficult choice for me, but I feel like as much as I love Hopkins, and I love Hopkins so much, I feel like Stallone's always been. And actually, just very quickly, I watched this on its Sky Movies premiere in what would have been maybe 92 on my own while my parents were out one night at the golf club. I was watching this only because the golf club was our nearest boozer, and they could stagger home. But yeah, I watched it on my own, and absolutely, I was entranced by it. But Rocky makes me cry, so it's got to be Rocky.
Yeah.
Sorry, Oodles.
No, don't.
I
It's on you.
totally-
It's on you, literally on you.
I totally agree with everything Oodles said about Silence of the Lambs. It's you summed it up perfectly. But
It's Rocky.
for me, Rocky is Rocky, and exactly again, Stiggy sold it to me because I agreed with every point because it isn't a boxing movie. I was more interested in just the story of Stallone and just the relationship issues that he had with, Paulie's relationship with Adrian, the way that he treated her, and Rocky didn't know
horrible bastard.
where to step in at the right time or not. Her awkwardness. It's a character study without a doubt, and I think Copland is just up there with Stallone's performance.
Love Copland.
Absolutely.
I want to do a show with you, Planty, about Copland, by the way. Just throwing that in if you ever want to cover it.
I keep getting pressured by a long-term friend and patron to do Copland, so we'll do that. We'll make that happen. Once I've got Oodles on, we'll restart at the beginning again. And
we need to find a film, though, don't we, Planty? We need to find a film, mate.
Kez is perfect.
Kez will do. Kez will do. Yep, round the corner.
Yeah, I think Silence of the Lambs is an incredible movie, and it will stand the time. It is a perfect thriller. But yeah, Rocky, man.
Yeah.
Kurt is so fucking wrong.
Does he not like this one then?
Really?
No.
Wow.
I know why his reasons were like the fight choreography, and it is a bit naff, but it was the first kind of proper boxing film. After that, Stallone was kind of like, let's just hit each other.
When did Raging Bull come out? Did that come out before or after?
After 1980.
Fucking, so it did really start shit, didn't it?
Yeah, The Champ was 1979 as well. So
yeah, and I think
but the fact
he's one of the only two.
I've seen The Ring, the Hitchcock film. The Ring is a silent film, but there's barely any boxing in that as well.
There's a few people in Hollywood Walk of Fame that've got their actual actor and the character on it. There is a star that just says Rocky Balboa and the other one, and a
He's got a statue. Rocky has
he's got a statue.
It's Rocky. That statue's for Rocky, not for Stallone.
There's a Lecter statue outside Candy's house, I think.
But didn't
it's inside Candy's house.
Inside.
Didn't Stallone got an Oscar for the screenplay as well, right? He wrote it.
Yeah.
And I think
he was nominated for Best Actor, but he didn't win.
Yeah,
I can't argue with Rocky. That's fine. If someone's going to knock Silence of the Lambs out, I'm glad it's that.
Yeah, we need to move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. Next one's me again. 2000's Gladiator. So this is going to take on Return of the King. We've heard Return of the Kings. I will do my Gladiator pitch, and then we'll knock it out. Maybe not. Maybe someone prefers Gladiator. Anyway, Gladiator is a 2000 film directed by Ridley Scott, starring Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, Connie Nielsen, Oliver Reed, and Richard Harris, and Jaimin Hansu. And it tells the story of former Roman general Maximus, and he is given power of Rome to give it back to the people, to make it back a republic again by Marcus Aurelius. But his son Commodus has other plans, and he kills Aurelius before he has a chance to do this. And then he basically sends Maximus out to be killed, kills his wife and his son. Maximus manages to escape, but he's too late and eventually finds himself in slavery. And during that time in slavery, he's thrown into the pits to fight for Proximo and for people's entertainment. And through all this, they find out that he's actually, because he's a general, he can actually control the people well within the fight pits, and they manage to actually kill the gladiators.
He's also solid.
Yeah. And he manages to make a name for himself. And through all this, Proximo gets invited to Rome to fight in the big Colosseum. At which point we have, obviously, a bit of a showdown between Maximus and Commodus and Lucia and everyone. And it's just this amazing, huge... It's not historically accurate at all. It uses a few historical names, but we'll call it an historic epic because of the time it's set in and what it's going for.
I think it's allowed.
And it looks fantastic. The cinematography is great. It's one of Ridley Scott's best films. Russell Crowe is fantastic in this, so much so he obviously won the Oscar for it. Joaquin Phoenix was nominated for Best Supporting. Probably should have won it that year, to be honest.
He was good, weren't he?
The choreography in this, it opens up with this huge battle scene in Germania, which is just absolutely incredible. It looks amazing.
Brilliant. It does.
I think that's my favourite scene.
Yeah,
personally.
It's amazing, the opening. But all the actual fights within the Colosseum, when they fight,
very good choreography.
When they fight the barbarian horde, it is absolutely amazing. And the music by Hans Zimmer to go along with that, the actual song "Barbarian Horde" that plays throughout the whole of that section is an amazing piece of music. It's absolutely incredible. And all of that combined, the way it looks, the way they reconstructed the Colosseum, the fighting, the music, the acting, everything about it is just, for me, I absolutely love it. And I completely see why it won Best Oscar. And before I finish, I'll leave you with this. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, and loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my revenge in this life or the next. That's me.
Well done. Well done. And Oliver, somehow managed to get Oliver Reed to act without being pissed.
Oh no, he was definitely pissed.
He was definitely pissed.
He actually had to finish
When
the
is he
scenes
not
out
pissed?
with CGI.
Yeah,
he died.
Well, off a stool.
He was good in it, though. You were good in it.
Oh, he's brilliant in it.
Those giraffes he sold me are gay.
Ooh, it's up against Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I would probably out of the two of those go for Lord of the Rings. However, I will say I do love Gladiator. And it is, in my mind, Ridley Scott's last good film.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, The Martian's great.
Absolutely.
The Martian's good. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I enjoyed The Martian.
It's okay.
That's great film. Great film.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
It's I really enjoyed Gladiator, and it was at that time because I was a teenager. I was doing kind of classic history at the time. It's my GCSE history, so it kind of hit at all the right times. And Russell Crowe.
I got to watch it at school. It was brilliant. Blood at school.
Russell Crowe just absolutely owned the screen with that film.
Mm-hmm. I
I don't
can't
think
even say
he's not been better. I don't think.
I can't even try and gazump Lord of the Rings with the score, even though the score to Gladiator is amazing.
Yeah,
Don't bother.
Now we are free. I love that. I love the ending. I love the ending that buries the things. Now you're free.
I've been thinking about this while you were talking about it, and I'm just going to. This is just for keep this podcast the pace going, but we're already 2 hours 10 minutes in. I'm just going to go Lord of the Rings, Stig, but I want you to understand that I fucking love Gladiator as well.
Oh no, I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings has got elves on it.
It's I mean, Lord of the Rings is a great end to a very good franchise of films. I know it doesn't matter how I vote either way, but it would have been Gladiator, not just for Oliver Reed's last ever film, but it would have been Gladiator just because it's great, except for those shitty, shonky CGI tigers. That look
2000
like
film. Come on, you've got to give it some leeway.
The one thing that ILM didn't do wrong was CGI. Whereas whoever did the CGI for Gladiator, I mean, bearing in mind that those movies were being filmed and created at the same time as Gladiator.
Yeah.
So, I'll give them that. But yes, it's Gladiator.
So 3-2. I'll take that.
Yeah, I love Gladiator. It's one of my favourite movies. But yeah, it's. I think it's actually Russell Crowe's only decent, proper role for me. I don't think he's ever bettered it.
Oh, do you not like him in singing Copper or whatever he is in Les Mis?
LA Confidential?
LA Confidential's fucking brilliant. Les Mis is bollocks in it. Can we just put
LA
that
Confidential's
there now? What a load of
fantastic.
old tuts.
I still think Gladiators is still his best role.
Yeah. LA Confidential's
I'm trying
great,
to
Gadget.
think.
I've got to go and watch that this week. Yeah.
I'm trying to
One of
think.
those films when
Mine's
someone
his
mentions
His
it,
best
you
role.
need to
He's
go
great
see
in
it.
The Nice Guys.
The Nice Guys is
Yeah, he is
fucking
really
brilliant.
good in that.
The Nice Guys.
He's Master and Commander's meant to be really good.
Oh, Master and Commander
Yeah.
is very good, but it's
Really
very
good.
dry, mate. It's really
long.
dry.
I didn't think he was that bad in A Beautiful Mind. I know some people are a bit
No, he
down
weren't.
on that.
Yeah, I never
Gladiator.
finished.
I still think
Right,
Gladiator's still his
what
best.
who won then? What Lord of the Rings won then?
Lord of the Rings,
Lord
yeah.
of the
So
Rings, yeah.
Okay.
right, this is the
Let's
last
move
two, and then we can just best through the semi-finals.
Cool.
This one
Let's
is
get
No
the
Country
fucking
for Old Men 2007 against Parasite 2019.
Fucking hell. Two films where nothing happens. Okay.
Yeah, everything happens at all the same time.
Which means they're two of Oodle's favourite films of all time.
Yeah.
I
So,
like films that
Planty,
nothing
No
happens.
Country for Old Men.
Okay, look, Casablanca. I'll get this out of the way quickly because look, we've all got homes to go to. Casablanca is a massive film following groups of people displaced by war. No Country for Old Men is tiny, teeny,
It is.
tiny little film. You've got Anton Chigurh, I can never pronounce it, which is Javier Bardem, who is creepy and not as hot as you've ever seen him. Like, how can the hottest man probably in the world at the time go from being really fucking hot in Vicky Cristina Barcelona to being
No.
this fucking
It's that haircut, mate.
freak
It's the haircut.
with a fucking bowl cut, man? And that
Mate,
wig makes him
the
look like
thing
one
is-
of the Beatles.
He did bring out my favourite weapon of all time, the cow gun.
Yeah, well, and on that, that is the creepiest weapon because it's
Favourite.
just compressed air. How can compressed air be so scary?
You can't run
It
out of
doesn't
bullets.
leave a bullet. Yeah, absolutely. I guess you could run out of compressed air. He's tracking down some money, and he doesn't mind killing absolutely every motherfucker in his path to get to it, including some old bloke that he says, "How much have you ever lost in a coin toss?" And the old bloke is like, I guess some money. I don't know. He's like,
Yeah.
"But how much? What's the most you've ever lost on a coin toss?" Some money, and he flicks a coin, and the guy goes like, "Heads," and it's like, "It's heads." Oh, okay. And away, you've been very lucky today. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I've been very like the fuck is, and the guy is not even speaking his language.
He was going to get
He's
fucking
so
cow
scared.
gunned.
He was going to get cowgunned. Josh Brolin's the everyman that finds a bunch of money and a pile of
I
dead
love Josh
Mexicans. Of course you do. He's basically his dad, isn't he?
He's
But
the
not,
daddy.
but not married to Barbara Streisand, who, and I don't talk about this a lot. Clones are dogs, anyway. Tommy Lee Jones is the sheriff that chases them all down, very, very, very slowly. He's chasing them down slower than anyone's ever chased down anybody at all. But True Cohen Styles, it's a character piece. It's about men. Sadly, Kelly MacDonald's the only female character in this, but Kelly MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen. She's got like 4 lines, and she's got a pretty good accent as well. It's about men, not subjects. It's not even about the money. It isn't
About
about
sad
the money.
men. It's about sad fucking men.
Exactly. It's about people that have got nothing. Josh Brolin's a welder or something. He's a Vietnam vet, and he comes across the money, and he decides he's going to do something with it, because we all would do something with it. We don't know what, but we do something. But most of all, it's an anti-Oscar film, and I can't believe I'm saying this. It's not an Oscar-winning film. It's not sprawling. It's not an epic. It's not massive. I picked it because it's Cormac McCarthy. You know him. He wrote The Road. It's one of the grimmest things you've ever read. If you've read The Road, you'll read it in a day and you'll wish you'd never read it. But part of you, every 6 months, will want to go back to that book and read it again because you want to experience that again. And it's the Coens. So it's a heist film. And it's played at a snail's pace. And because it's played so slowly, it's even more tense because of it. And you know he's not going to get away with it. You know he can't beat this guy. And then Woody Harrelson turns up, and you know you're fucked when Woody turns up.
Yeah, when Woody turns up.
Oh, you know you're done. And that's it. And it's, I've done all right with the other one. I've made the semis with the other one. So I'm okay with that. But this is, it's not an Oscar-winning film, but it won an Oscar because it's about time people looked at character studies, not at sprawling epic films. And now I'm stuck up against a fucking character study, not a sprawling epic film, which I could have done without.
Yes. Parasite, 2019. Is this the most? No, Everything Everywhere All at Once is the most recent, isn't it? Bong Joon-ho.
There's also 2 others between that.
Oh, was there? Sorry, I'm not paying attention. Bong Joon-ho. Everyone loves Bong Joon-ho. Starring, get ready, Song Kang-ho, Lee Kung-jo, son, Cho Yoo-jong, and Choi Woo-sik.
Can I just finish breaking news?
You know you
This is
love them
becoming
all.
a sample.
You know these guys. You love them. You've seen them on everything. Anyway, Parasite. This is the one film, and I think the internet did the absolute best thing for this. People just said, watch Parasite. Don't look into it. Don't find out what it's about. Don't just watch it. And I did that. I think it started on this podcast. Someone told me to watch it, and I watched it. And what do I like to talk about most? Class discrimination. Whoa, I love a bit of class discrimination, man. Oh, God, these really, really low working class family. They get some kind of, I don't know, gift. I'm not going to spoil too. I know we're talking about spoilers, but I don't really want to spoil it because I still respect this film. They get an opportunity to live how they ideally would want to live in South Korea. And it unfolds and becomes a film that you did not expect in any way, shape or form. Like, you can't even call it a twist because it's complete 180. It's just, what the fuck happens? And I just think everything about this film is perfect. Now, I've had my friends saying, I can't watch it, it's subtitled. Fuck off. I'm not here for that kind of fucking chatter. This is a foreign language film, and it won an Oscar, and it's just, fucking hell. The Park family in general, I just think, I don't know this, I've watched this film about 6 times now, and I only knew about it, it's not even that old, like you said, 2019, and I just, every time I watch it, there's always something else. You could go deep dive YouTubing on this film, there's so many Easter eggs and little bits of lore nuggets, and so it's just, it's special, it's actually a special film. I fucking adore it.
Everyone lost the shit when Squid Game came out, and I was like, why have you not watched Parasite? Which is an absolute snapshot of what a terrible fucking country South Korea really is. You know?
Yeah. It's and Bong Joon-ho were brave enough to show that side, not showing the glitz and the wealth. You know what I mean? At downtown Seoul, he was showing the real fucking boots on the ground. Fucking working class people.
When that house of cards comes down, boy, does it fall. Shit, nothing else. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about I'm going to have to go away and watch that this week again. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I think it's, out of all the films, I'm not saying it's the best out of all these, but I think it's perfect. I think this is a perfect film. I don't think there's anything wrong with it whatsoever. Have you all seen it?
No.
It's in foreign. That's what's wrong with it. It's in foreign.
Gotcha. Please.
Gotcha, have you not seen this?
Please watch this one.
It is one I intend to see at some point. There's always something else comes up.
This week. Don't make anything else come up.
Watch it tonight.
You will get a kick out of it, mate.
You'll love it, mate. You'll love it. You'll love a fucking bit of class discrimination as well.
He doesn't love discriminating on the classes.
No, but he likes that kind of thing. There's some indentured servitude in there as well, mate.
It's a tale of people that you will have known at some point in your life, and they are bastards. I'm going to put it out there. They're bastards, but they're bastards because they've been fucking forced down to be bastards.
I think on Roger Ebert's website, one of them mentioned this is the most Shakespearean South Korea's ever been, and it is. It's like,
I don't know. I remember the Shakespeare film where there's a big leech in the river that comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was directed by him as well.
It was.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it was.
A great film.
That's fucking mental.
Yeah, not the Stephanie Meyer's Saoirse Ronan one.
No.
But yeah, I just think Parasite's literally perfect. And if anyone disagrees with me on that one, you're wrong. There you go. Vote.
Well, look, I'm voting for fucking Parasite. it's all against my film, but I'm voting for Parasite. Shock.
I'm looking at like the list of like the way I've ranked these. It's Parasite. Just it's 2 films above No Country for Old Men for me. Like it's just
I love No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I
Again,
adore it.
Introduced the
I adore
cowgun.
we
to me.
did that like best villains. Like
Yeah.
Anton Chigurh was like one of my like it's the guy I talked about. Like he's just incredible. But
Brilliant.
Parasite is like
perfect
nothing
to
I've
me.
ever seen.
Obviously, I'm taking myself out of the vote because I haven't seen Parasite, but I do just want to say that I think No Country for Old Men is one of the best horror films ever made.
Oh, what a great way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Someone called it Terminator 3, and I was like, yes, it is Terminator 3.
It's like the anti-horror film as well, because it all takes place during the day, but the one scene you get during the night is where he spotted him and he starts kind of walking towards him like a Terminator.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking tense and scary. It's just like, I didn't know the Coen brothers had it in them.
Yeah.
Because the previous film they'd put out to that was fucking Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah.
Love that film.
Which
Yeah,
is
that's a great film. It's another
Very
great-
different, though.
Biggie.
Yeah,
On you.
easy one for me again. Yeah, No Country for Old Men is fantastic, great movie, but Parasite soars above that for me.
It's perfect,
The
isn't
character
it?
study, that family, and like Oodle says, the turnaround throughout that movie is
And the fact,
incredible.
I bet we all went in watching that blind.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
completely.
yeah,
Everyone was like, "Do
yeah.
not."
Like, I've literally not said it because now
Yeah.
Gadget's not seen it. I'm glad he
Don't-
doesn't know.
Don't
Yeah.
look this film up. Don't look up anything about it.
Just watch it.
Just watch it.
I watched it twice
so
in
much.
24 hours. It was that good.
Oh, wow.
It's like with the gaming equivalent. It's like BioShock. No, everyone respects
Yeah.
the
Respect
BioShock
spoiler.
thing.
Yeah.
This is. It's the film version of that, mate.
Right.
That house
You've
is
gotta respect
fucking
it.
disgusting, though. I'm going to say
It's
that. That house is
disgusting.
disgusting. I hate it.
A lot
and
of
also,
CGI as well.
A very quick nod
A
to
lot of
like
the house is
Oodle's.
CGI.
Is it really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Loads of it.
But like Oodle says, there's a rabbit hole you can go down afterwards, all the hidden
Yeah.
meanings and
Yeah.
stuff in the
Fucking hell.
poster and all sorts. Yeah, very clever.
Oh,
very,
so
very
good.
clever.
Okay, right.
Thank you.
Semi-finalists. We've got them. We have Casablanca versus Rocky. Right. Just quick votes now. We've all heard our pitches. Obviously, one for Rocky for me.
Rocky.
Casablanca.
Rocky.
3 for Rocky. Planty.
Sorry,
Would you
Casablanca.
vote for Rocky over Casablanca?
I absolutely
would've?
wouldn't have done. No.
Sorry.
Stig's
3.
pulling faces as if to say, yeah, you would.
No, because I know what your list is. I know what your top priority of list was. Right, so Rocky is through to the final. This one, Parasite versus Return of the King. How about it?
Return of the King, I guess. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen
Parasite.
Parasite.
Parasite's perfect. Return of the
Parasite,
King
because I
has
feel
flaws.
like I could watch Parasite and another film
Yep.
on the same
Return of the King
night.
has flaws.
And
I love
that's the
Return of the
key
King.
for me.
That's not a deciding factor for me.
But it's
I'd give a shit about long films.
It's maximising my time because I don't have any time. No, but it's you could watch Parasite without watching his other films beforehand. Although you should watch his other films beforehand. I don't think you can watch Return of the King without at least having a fucking 25-minute recap beforehand.
Depends how many times you've seen it, though, doesn't it?
No, but if we're talking bottle movies, Parasite's a bottle movie.
But we're talking about these two movies against each other.
But
Which
I'm
would you
talking
prefer to
about.
watch?
I would prefer to watch this because it's a bottle movie.
There you go.
Okay, so we have 2 for Parasite, 2 for Lord of the Rings.
Big A.
No, Biggie's Lord of the Ring. It's me.
Did it? Oh, is it you, mate?
Well,
Biggie's Lord of the Dance.
presumably,
Oh, he is, yeah, of course he is.
Presumably, Biggie's going to vote on his.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
he
of
is.
course.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings.
Understandable.
Hey.
Worthy winner.
Understandable. Only
So-
because he knows Rocky's in final.
No. Rocky versus Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Rocky.
Rocky.
So you 2 voted Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll vote Rocky then.
Yeah! I'm not going to not vote
Unbelievable.
for Rocky. It's my fourth
Limped
favourite
your way
film of all
through.
time, mate.
I'm never going to win one of these motherfucking things.
You're close, pal.
Even though I ranked Lord of the Rings higher than Rocky. It's Rocky.
Thing is, right, Fellowship of the Ring is in my top 10 films of all time, but Return of the King.
It didn't win her the award, though, did it?
I know. There you go. Well done to Rocky, which I cannot be angry at Rocky winning fucking Best Picture knockout winner of all time.
It's because he'd knock you the fuck out. That's why.
Yeah, I did.
He's about 3 weight classes above you.
Yeah.
Is that 4 of these you've won, Stig, now?
Yeah.
He prides himself on it.
6 that we've done.
The real winner.
7. No,
the real winner
6.
is Rocky.
The real winner is the boxers we made along the way.
Yeah, because Oodles, Candy won crisps, and Oodles won drinks, but they both won with the choices that I wanted anyway, so I was happy with
Mate,
them.
I wanted Rocky as well.
Yeah, I wanted Guinness
like
and I wanted
Rocky,
those
but
crisps, those Max
Return of
crisps.
the King.
So.
Wow.
Mate, I still, to this day, I will still say Fellowship's a better film. And I think Two Towers has got some of the best set
I love Two
pieces.
Towers, yeah.
So,
I also think, as much as I love Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, I also think that was a cumulative.
Yeah.
I think so.
for all of it.
I
For
really
all of
do
it.
think so.
Yeah,
That's why I
agree.
think June didn't snap up the other year, but it's going to snap up next year.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Right, so Rocky's won. Congratulations and congratulations, Stig. You've picked another winner. That was long in the tooth, but we knew it were going to be. These knockout ones are. So, as always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk. And please consider becoming a patron to help support our endeavour. Patrons will get access to the green room, and the freeloaders will have to make do with what they get. Because this is the end of. But next week, though, we're starting a new season, aren't we?
Yep.
It is Death and Taxes. Ooh. This is exciting. Are we revealing what we're doing next week? Are we gonna?
Yeah,
save
it's on
that?
the website. You can go there.
Yeah. Which
Week
one is it
one-
next week? I can't
week
remember which
one-
order we put them in.
Media deaths. Are you
Oh
talking,
yeah. Yeah.
talking off camera now or not? 'Cause I was...
No. This is on camera.
Yeah.
This.
So week 1 next week is media deaths. So what deaths in a piece of media, could be film, TV, book, game, made the biggest impact to you? Whether it was one that broke your heart, one that you reveled in, or one that just got you something pumping. Just it doesn't matter. Whatever had a massive impact on you for that.
I'll
death.
give you a clue where I'm thinking. I might not pick it, but long live the king. I'm thinking that.
Oh, man. Long live me.
I'm thinking that. I'm thinking that. But yes, thanks for Planty. Thanks for turning up, mate.
Always
I'll give
a
you a
delight.
minute or two to plug your wares, pal.
Yeah, 100 Things We Learned from Film. This week we're talking about Casablanca with probably one of my podcast heroes. No, not any of these morons. Diana Goodman
Cut him
from
off,
30
cut him
2010.
You got it
yeah.
from 30-2010.
We got it from 30 2010. Yeah, so Kieran will be very happy because he was desperate for
Laser time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Diana, I've been listening to Diana's podcast for like 7 or 8 years now. So
Yeah.
she is probably podcast royalty to me. I only lost my shit about 3 or 4 times with giddiness. Yeah, so I was quite pleased with that. So yeah,
It's like when we got Helen O'Hara on this show and Stig was just
Yeah.
like this.
yeah, Stig has said to me a number of times, get Helen on, get Helen on, get Helen on. She's great, get Helen on. And I'm like, I would love to. I don't think she'd put up with our shit.
She put up with our shit.
She loved
I
it.
think she'd love it. I
No,
think
Oodles
she'd
had
love
to
it,
rein in
actually.
some of his.
Had to calm down. And then when she went, because she didn't join us in the green room, I was like, fucking hell, took my top off and everything.
You just like 30 seconds of swearing just to get it out of the system.
But yes, that's a good pull from Laser Time. that.
Absolutely. But most of all, give this lot your money. I've just resubscribed as a patron now. I've got my fucking Patreon stuff sorted, and I am a biggie bundle subscriber. I was for many
Good
months, and then something with Patreon pissed me off, so I started messing about with them. I finally managed to separate my accounts now, so I am catching up on Scorched Sheep. But just saying, listen, if you do subscribe, listen to Scorched Sheep with the adverts, because that gets them a few extra quid as well. Be like
please.
me. Be a great listener
Please.
like me and do that. All right. And if you don't,
Puts a
then
lot of
you
time
don't.
into
You
it.
don't give a shit. Your $7.50 means nothing.
Where are you up to in Scorched Sheep?
I've
spoilers.
just got to the end of the last series, so we're talking September, I think. So I haven't got to the end. I'm at the fight. I'm at the boss battle. So yeah, I'm at the boss battle.
Skip it.
Yeah.
Fucking
Skip
Oodles'
it.
worst moments.
Skip it. Skip it, mate.
I will
brush over it.
I will feed back tomorrow once I've got that bit.
Skip it, mate. Just skip it. Yes, so please, listeners, you all know who Planty is because he's everywhere. But support him, because we love him.
Absolutely.
And
We
again,
do.
because of Planty, Stig got to decorate his whole house. Know what I mean? So it's a
I
big
got
thing.
no help.
Decorating this weekend though. Had no podcast.
Yeah, we've had
I
to
know.
drop off a little bit because John's busy with weddings and I'm busy. Not weddings. He's not a bigamist. He might be.
I thought you were a vicar then.
And I'm busy with other stuff. But yeah, we will get back to one a week in the coming months.
Excellent. Would you be joining us in the green room, Planty?
I would love to, but I've got a bad back to throw in the fire.
That's absolutely.
So I can't sit for any longer. I've killed my back.
That's absolutely
doing 3
fine.
hours with you lot.
So, thank you for joining us, and thank
Cheers,
you
lads.
all for listening.
Thanks, buddy.
This has been a great show. This has been a podcast. See you in the green room for the patrons. Bye.
Bye.
Piss off, Planty.
Cheers for that, mate.
Yeah, cheers, lads. Sorry I can't stick around because I did write a
we
write
don't
a bit
always
about.
sometimes.
I did write a bit about my throwing backs into the fire, but I figured we can't just
Ah.
throw all backs into the fire. That would be a terrible idea.
I like mine.
Yeah, I don't like mine right now. On the bright side, it might mean I get a day off work tomorrow, but we'll see.